All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another stream, a Podwans stream. Today we are going to be talking about episode 7. Or episode... Is this episode 7?
It's episode
I
7.
always forget. Yeah, episode 7 of House of the Dragon. I am joined with my co-host, Hereth. Hereth, how's it going?
It's going well. You know, had to grind a little bit to get the episode out, but hey, it's out.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. If you can't tell from our reaction, it was a really good episode, but we have 2 guests joining us, and let's start with one of our longest friends, Lady Dragon JJ. What's going on, friend?
Dracarys!
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to be back with you guys. I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, just hanging in there. I feel so funny because I'm wearing Lord of the Rings and I have the Ring of Power on my that I'm wearing, but then I have the Targaryen sigil.
I have that sweatshirt. Is that the one with the anime style Caraxes? Yes.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
We got Valyria on mine.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to drop Vermithor merch, and then
yes.
I'm just gonna splurge.
That's
it's gonna be great.
That's Josh's baby right there.
Oh yeah, we'll have
that's his son.
We'll have a lot to talk about, especially from our comment section, from our reaction. I just feel like we need to have a little bit of a nuanced conversation. But before we start that conversation, let's bring in our good friend MaceahWindu or Josh.
Yay!
This is my future dog. Just wanted to introduce him. Yeah. August 17th. I wrote it down. I made the lady schedule it, and I was like, I know you guys don't schedule I know you guys don't hold dogs, but on the off chance that he's there when I get there, he's mine. He's mine. And awesome. his name will be Cody. So Commander Cody. Yeah. That's gonna be what it is.
Perfect.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good. How are you doing? I mean, obviously we're drinking a little bit, so it'll be a fun little conversation.
This is grape juice, man. This is grape juice.
Yo, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about, man?
I would also like to announce that we will be watching the episode live on stream, whereas we usually do it pre-recorded. I thought, you know what? Fuck it. It's gonna be a fun time. It's always a good time with you two and Alys and I and Chris will be joining us.
Oh yay!
To let him know that we're gonna be doing it live, but it's gonna be a fun time. There still will be a cut down edited version of the finale for everyone else. But if you guys want to come watch with us, I would highly suggest it. I think it's going to be something that we're going to test out. But yeah, that's kind of the housekeeping. But let's talk about this episode real quick. I'm going to hit it on the head because nobody thinks we give a shit about what Jace had to say this episode.
I knew it. We were literally just watching it. Can we process the episode?
It's so annoying because it's like, they're like, yeah, well, he's so worried about his birthright and his dude, stop. Here's the point we were trying to make. This whole thing was his idea. Yeah, it wasn't his idea to go after the bastards, but essentially he pushed Rhaenyra into the decision of doing this. And the fact that people are just oh, you guys don't understand Jace. We do understand Jace. It's a nuanced conversation, and I feel like you two are the best ones to kind of talk about this a little bit more.
Can I just add one more thing? People are watching us watch it in real time, so we're watching it with you for the first time. So it's things are happening. Let me go through motions and then process the scene and process dialogue and what's happening at the same time. I don't think people understand that. So.
Yeah, we weren't. When we watch it and we hear the word mongrels, we're like, "Whoa!"
That took me out.
Yeah, I was like, it was more once we heard his insecurities and he talked about it more, I was like, "Oh, I get why he's mad." I see where he's going with it. He sees you in his eyes. Remember, he's 16 years old in the story. He's watching his mother in his eyes say, any Targaryen bastards who have, and they all have blonde hair, and they're claiming bigger dragons than his, and I'm your supposed heir. Like these are understandable insecurities from like a 16-year-old heir to the throne who's already dealing with that controversy of potentially being an illegitimate child, and he feels insecure about that stuff. We all understood that, and like. When you only look at like an edited version of us watching it, like you're gonna say like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna say like, why didn't you say it? It's like, yeah, we did say that actually, you know, like
we discussed. I'm sorry, we discussed it right in our Twitter space right after that was brought up because again, we had time to process what was happening, and the word mongrel took me out. I couldn't think about anything else.
I wasn't prepared for that. I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Like shook me too. I was like, what the hell? This word is kind of strange. There's got to be another word for a classicist word that describes people that are not
these
peasants,
you know, like anything.
Literally anything. Mongrel is a very charged word. Like it really took me out. So but again, like people are watching us in an edited way. So when you're commenting, just so you know, like we are intelligent people. We know how to process. We're just watching and reacting in a moment.
I just found it so funny that they were saying this, and I was like, do you know who you're talking to? Like the two of you are two of the most knowledgeable in the Song of Ice and Fire realm that I know. You know what I mean?
JJ's away. Well, JJ's away. Yeah,
we're both good. I appreciate it.
It's JJ. It's JJ.
Don't put. Come on now. Like I've learned a lot of stuff from both of you.
I will say that I love, like, I'm a big fan of Nuance, and like that's kind of like what, like whether it be in Star Wars or this, like I'm more into Star Wars, but like I do agree that like, and I've been a victim of it where it's like you go in and you know you have a certain viewpoint, and then you go, okay, like maybe if I have critical learning and critical thinking here, literary analysis, you go, okay, I understand what they're doing here. Yeah, maybe I should calm the fuck down and watch the rest of the episode. You know, like we're on the same page regarding that, so it's like, yeah, that's kind of been my bread and butter on that. Like it's important.
Can we normalize like talking to people like, hey, I don't agree with you. Have you considered this angle? Have you considered this option? Yeah. Have you considered this part of the dialogue or this scene that happened a while ago? Instead of just like, oh, you're so fucking stupid. You don't get what's going on. I'm like, we're not kids. What the hell is happening? Like, that's why I don't dare look at comment sections, especially not on YouTube. Like, they terrify me.
This is the thing, though. And I feel like we've done as a good podcast and as a community, at least for our small little community, we do a pretty good job of bringing in differing opinions, especially when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, me and JJ don't see eye to eye on The Rise of Skywalker. She sees that as the biggest abomination of all time.
You don't see me. Yeah.
If hating The Rise of Skywalker is a paid job, I would quit my real life.
Yeah, and Luke, let's just rip this Band-Aid off. You wouldn't see eye to eye with me on that either. Me and JJ
that's fine, and that's fine. That's okay.
I want to make fun of you so bad, but you're my friend, so I can't.
Luke, you're lucky. Luke, you're lucky you have us as guests because we beat. I'm just okay.
Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. But no, like here's the thing. Like here's the thing. Like it's having those conversations and being able to have those disagreements, but like still coming to a common ground and realizing, hey, at the end of the day, we both really, really love this stupid little franchise that's made up.
Right.
Why the fuck are we getting all bent out of shape about
and it's
this?
fake. It's not real.
It's not real. None of these people exist. I know that's hard.
Wizards with magical swords.
But you know, like to add on to that though, like I think the best example of that was like whenever JJ talked about like her issues with the Acolyte, like I remember. Wait, what happened?
Can you boot that person out, please?
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'm not reading the comments. What happened?
I'll punt them. There we go. They've been punted to the ether.
Oh, okay. I didn't see anything. Well, whenever I saw JJ talking about the Acolyte, that was kind of like one of the best examples of that, where it's like there were some things that she had opinions on regarding the Acolyte that I didn't necessarily agree with. I was just kind of like, oh, like you didn't see it that way? Okay, like that's cool. Whatever. Yeah. And it was interesting because like she would have criticisms, but like then she would talk about things that really interested her about the show. And I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like it's possible to say like they really need to lock in for these episodes because I'm not a fan of how they've been doing this, but also say I fucking love Kamir, I fucking love Jackie, I fucking love Yord, and I fucking love all these characters. They're so cool. Like you can say I fucking hate how they did this, and also I fucking love these characters. This was such a great move doing this. And so, you know, like I've always been a fan of that. And that was kind of like the best example for me. I was like, oh yeah, like this is how it works. Like,
and I'll tell you right now, even things like, I know we're talking about House of Dragon, but I don't mind talking about Acolyte too. The way there are a lot of things about it that I didn't like. I thought it was way too, everything was happening a lot. Like I said, I have an issue with 8 episode structure. I've had an issue with that. And I think Acolyte is also one of those stories that is so lore heavy, character heavy, that suffers from like that shortage of episodes in span of like 25-minute episodes. This isn't a sitcom. So for me, like I don't have time to sit down and process anything. So at the end of the day, like I don't care about anything. But like I would say like Josh and Tate in the comment, like he's opened my mind about certain things that I really had heavy critiques on. I'm like, I really did not look at it this way. Let me reconsider my point of view. And that's how I change my mind all the time. I think people need to normalize that as well. Like you're allowed to change your mind about this. You can hate a thing and then love it. You can like a thing and then all of a sudden it kind of on you. Like I always use Jujutsu Kaisen as my biggest example of me changing my mind. Like I hated it first time I watched it. Like I had impossible that time through it. I talked to a couple of people. I'm like, this is the angle maybe that you should consider. I go back and I'm like, holy shit, now I'm obsessed. It's like my second favorite world after A Song of Ice and Fire. Like it's just, the mind change was insane. So I think we need to normalize that in regards to everything, whether it be House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, not Game of Thrones, like the world, Star Wars, literally Lord of the Rings, anything. It's normal to change your mind about things, good or bad.
Anyway, into like also, but like, let's also call out those people that have like that's fair to say that, JJ, but let's also remember that people will change their minds on what helps their wallet as well.
Correct.
So we
like
unfortunately
grifters?
do know that.
Oh, you're talking about grifters? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
goes without saying.
That goes without saying.
That's a different conversation altogether.
Right.
That we could have. But like, let's be real here. We don't.
And then they need to make up their mind. If you're too positive, like, or you're getting paid by Disney, or you're getting the views, but we know the negative shit gets views and clicks. Like, which one is it?
I think it's hilarious that you got called an HBO shill, and then like what was it? Episode 3 you had a problem with it, or 4? Or was it? No, it was 3. It was episode 3. You had a problem with, and somebody said that you were too negative. And I'm like,
it's so funny.
Pick your lane with me.
It's so funny.
The funny part is,
go ahead.
I'm so sorry, Josh.
No, you're fine.
I will find the video. I know I made it back in February or March saying, I hope that Blood and Cheese is toned down. I think it's way too unnecessarily graphic. I get it. It's for like the shock value, but it's really, really graphic in the book if you read Fire and Blood. And I said, I just hope they tone it down a bit. They did. It got toned down majorly. And I was happy with that. The noises alone were enough to like terrify me. The only reason I say I don't have an issue with Blood and Cheese is because here's a little thing. It's gonna shock you. It's gonna shock you. There's no Maelor. He hasn't been present in the story. So when you're watching Blood and Cheese, you know it's going to be different. So people that are watching Blood and Cheese and are like, oh my God, it's not book accurate. Why were you expecting book accuracy when a major component is missing, which is a third child or second son?
Yeah.
So I knew what I was getting into. I was just hoping they tone it down, and they did.
The entire point of like the original, like the entire agreed fully, but the entire point of like the original version of events in Blood and Cheese was that there were 2 sons in that situation. It was Jaehaerys and Maelor.
Maelor, that changes everything.
The entire oh shit moment came from Helena being essentially forced to pick the younger one because. And they speculated. They were like, oh, perhaps because he was too young to figure out what was going on, and she in that way she was like, oh, let me kind of like it may in that situation a mother would be like, he doesn't know what's happening.
It's
if I
too
had
little,
to,
yeah.
you know, like,
And then
terrible
they rip the
situation.
agency from Helena, which makes it that's what makes it
And
graphic.
Blood and Cheese use that, and they're like, hey, your mom wants to kill you, and then kills the other one. You're like, oh my God. Like, that's where that came from. But in the show, when he doesn't exist, I was
Different.
like, okay, yeah, this is a different situation. I don't know what people were hoping for.
Yeah.
Book accuracy on a character that doesn't exist. Like
Yeah.
if Maelor was in season 1, like because
Mhm.
Blood and Cheese happens right at season 2, like first episode, right?
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
mind is scrambled. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Like
No.
you were expecting accurate Blood and Cheese without Maelor.
Yeah.
That's what I was shocked by. Like some of these reactions, I'm like, you knew what the scene was
Yeah.
gonna be. It will be
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just didn't like that it was different. Like, and I talked about it later. Helena being like having all these prophetic visions, being sort of like a dragon dreamer, a green seer, or not a green seer. I'm sorry, like a dragon dreamer. That's what I meant to
Yeah.
say.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like that. The character was changed. And even George R. Martin commented that it's a different character, and he likes Helena better in the show than his own.
Yeah.
He said that when he was
Mhm.
praising. He was praising Patty Constantine. His House of Dragons, Viserys is better than his. He said
Mhm.
that. Same with Helena. He liked the change.
Yeah.
I did too. And all of a sudden, she's getting paid by HBO. Like that is the most egregious thing to accuse me of. Like I if I get paid by anybody, I gotta disclose that shit. I do not fuck around with FTC,
Yeah.
with laws, with none of that. You will
No.
know when I have gifts, when I'm sent PR, and when I'm asked to do something. You
Yeah,
will
it's-
know. I'm very transparent.
It's
Yeah.
the law.
It's law. Like, how do you
Yeah.
explain it? And you, Josh, you get that a lot. That you get paid by Disney. Holy shit! I don't know how you deal with it. Like, I have no idea how you
answer
deal
your
with
question,
it.
JJ, I don't deal with it.
I got it once and I lost my mind,
get it-
and you
I-
get
I
it all the
can-
time.
I cannot tell you. And I know we're talking about House of Dragons, so I won't spend too much time on it. But like, I cannot tell you how many DMs I've gotten, how many like subtle comments I've gotten telling like you piece of shit, you motherfucker. It's like it's fine. It's fine. You eventually have to kind of just water down your back kind of situation. Are you guys okay? Are we?
Yeah.
Are we good? Okay. I thought there was like an audio issue. I thought, sorry.
No,
you're good.
No, it was just like it was just like it's like I agree, JJ, that like I deal with the same shit in like the
a
Star
lot
Wars.
more. I dealt with it once, but you deal with it a lot more.
It's so bad. It's like with the Acolyte. I in my defense, like not in my defense, mea culpa moment. I got bogged down in like this dumbass Twitter engagement argument where they were like, you fucking shill. And like, I don't know if I was just having a bad day that day or whatever, but like, I was like, I'm not. Fuck you. Like, shut up. Fuck you. And like, I entered like 2022 MaceahWindu where I told everybody to go fuck themselves. And it was like, and like, after it was done, I was kind of like, was this even worth it? Like, I was like, was it even worth going?
You're right.
At?
You're right.
Like, I asked everybody, I was like, did I overreact? And there were some people that DM me, they were like, hey man, like just in the future, don't even. I was like, I know. I know. It's not even worth it because that's what they go for, right?
Yeah.
It's like they want you to like
react.
Yeah, they want you to react to it so that they can, you know, like, and once I was halfway through it, I was like, oh, you're right. I should have just not even said anything because they're not gonna like. I gave them every angle, I gave them every excuse as to why I formatted my opinions and talked about them the way I did. I told them every which way, and they still didn't. I was like, you know what? Not even worth it. It wasn't worth having this conversation with you.
Right.
So.
No,
I mean, Luke, we even like joked about it on our Acolyte roundtables. Like we had like the Disney shill, like, oh, we hit 2 hours, we're getting paid jokes.
And here's the thing, like most creators, and this is for people that aren't big in our spaces, most creators, just like JJ, will say, there is a paid advertisement. Like,
you have to. It's
you have
law.
to. You have to.
Law.
Yeah.
So, like, all these people being like, "Oh, they're shills." If I was a shill, would I have? First of all, I would have a better setup. First of all, I had better lighting. I'd have a better camera. I would have better.
Oh, guess I'm a shill then.
I would be able to pay Hereth well enough to give him new equipment to make this thing like really really go. We'd have a Patreon. Like if I was making so much money and I was
Yeah.
a shill, Amazon shill, HBO, Disney.
Yeah,
I'd be
no.
rolling in the dough, and you would know it.
I always tell people this, people who genuinely want to know, I always tell them this. If I cared and gave a shit about like shilling, I would not have said a word about like Palestine and Gaza and all this other. I would not have said a word. Like, I speak my mind, and the fact that I, I'll flex. The fact that I still get invites and opportunities is a testament to what I'm able to do and what I'm able to talk about and what I'm able to kind of cultivate in my audience.
But who you are as a person too.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That tells you everything that you need to know. And I have so much respect for you. And,
Thank you.
The fact that like Disney or Star Wars, Lucasfilm, whatever, they still like see you.
Yeah.
Even though you're outspoken, but you're outspoken about the things that are right. Let's be real.
I've lost. I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say that it was because of this for legal reasons. With Paramount, I can tell you guys now because it never happened. When the fucking Creed shit was going off, about a month before the Super Bowl, and there was a Super Bowl ad that was talking about that did like the whole "can you take?" It was like a Paramount thing. It was like a Paramount ad. Paramount emailed me a month before, and they said, "Hey, can we have a meeting with you?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Like, that's cool. That's totally fine." And they were like, "Okay, cool. Like, what's a meeting that works well for you?" And I said, "Okay, this meeting works well." I never heard back from them. And in my head, I was like, I wonder if this had anything to do with how outspoken I've been on social media about certain things. And I don't know for sure. Maybe it just for some fucking reason fell through the grapevine. I didn't like treat it like the end of the world, but like stuff like that. Like, so when people say like, "Oh, you always like water down your opinions because of," I was like, I don't actually. If you were, if I did do that, I'd probably be in a fucking Super Bowl commercial. I don't like, you don't fucking know. Like, so I take risks in that way where it's like, no, dude, like I speak my mind on shit. I'm not afraid. Like if Lucasfilm came up to me and said, "You got to stop talking about Palestine," I tell them to go fuck themselves. I JJ, I stand on 10 toes with that. I fully can't. If they 100%. Came through and said, if you want us to keep like whatever the fuck, blah 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 blah, you need to stop talking about Gaza. You need to stop talking about this and that, and you need to follow what we want you to do. I'd been like, respectfully, go fuck yourselves. You guys can block me or whatever, and I would keep doing what I've been doing. I've always done that to my detriment in terms of financial shit. Like to my detriment.
Yeah, and here's the other thing though, Josh, that I think is a testament to what you do. Like those social media managers and swagmen, they follow you for a reason. They obviously are aligned with the same type of opinion, and they can't, obviously, because they're part of the company, and they can't make those outstanding.
I know that they represent a brand, and I'm like we always talk about with Nuance, and we can jump back into House of the Dragon with this, but like, sorry, but like I know that they represent a brand, and I am aware of like, okay, like, Nuance, it's a job for them. Like they I understand why they want to be careful running the official Star Wars account. Like, I get it. But like, but I'm not gonna change just because like the official Star Wars account follows me. You know what I'm saying? That means that in the grand scheme, even though it's funny and cool and fun to like bring up, like it doesn't mean in the grand scheme anything to me. It's like I will always have the beliefs that I believe in, and if one day they decide that it's not worth their brand, then so be it. I'm not going to change. Just doors right there. I can't fathom changing my beliefs just because I want, like, personally. But I don't know. Let's go back to House of the Dragon. I'm sorry.
But like, and that's why I wanted to have that conversation about Jace, because it's like everybody thought that we were just not paying attention, but we were. It's called a reaction for the reason.
Also, as the editor in the situation, like I try to keep as much as I can because like I have to dance around copyright and like how much I can play the episode for how long. Right. So like I kept like most of the discussion in there, and it's like if you guys are paying attention to what Renero was saying, that's what they were saying in the episode. It's like watch the discussion again.
And again, some people just or reacting, it takes them a minute to process the conversation and the nuances of the conversation. Like,
Yeah.
what are these people talking about? Like, no grace whatsoever.
If there was like a full reaction, like you could see me and JJ go from whoa to oh, I get what he okay.
Yeah.
Like
No, in real time.
literally, me and JJ were both like, what the fuck is he doing? Oh,
Yeah.
I see why he's okay. All right. I see what's happening now. Like
It's-
literally you can see it on our face. Like we change it. We're like, okay, okay, all right. All right.
Especially,
Go ahead.
Especially knowing, I don't know if you two have read, you've probably read Fire and Blood too as well.
You
know that like Jace leads the charge even with the dragon seeds to recruit them to ride the dragon. So
this is his idea.
It was his idea in Fire and Blood, and I understand why they changed it for what reason. It makes perfect sense that they changed it. I actually like the change. He's insecure over his heritage, over who he is. I get that.
Yeah.
But like that's always in the back of my head, burden of knowledge, like knowing what happened. Like you know, in the text, and then like, oh, wait a minute, let me adjust my thinking. But I can't do that as I'm watching live with you and reacting immediately. Like I have 2 billion things going through my head.
Yeah.
Well,
give us some fucking
here's
fucking grace. Jesus Christ. God damn. Sorry.
It's also like understanding engagement on YouTube. It's like I'm not gonna leave like 15 seconds of silence and then going, oh.
Yeah, no, like it's also kind of that.
Seriously.
It's like you don't really expect us to like. I always geek because like there'll be like reaction mashup videos and they'll be talking about like, oh, here's the Shrek 2 reaction mashup or whatever, and they'll be like, why didn't you put the full movie? Because I'd get my account removed, bro. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't what the fuck.
Okay, so
why'd you keep cutting and like distorting the sound? Because YouTube would send people to my house. Like, what do you want? What?
You're gonna get your account banned so quickly.
I think we should have a episode of just copyright law with Chris on and just go through. This is why we can't do the things that we can do. But all right, so talking about more of the episode, because I absolutely love this episode. I think all
this episode is
did
great.
here.
Are you kidding me?
It was one of the best in the season. I would put it behind Rook's Rest just because like I've gravitated towards like me and Josh during that reaction were like Vermithor.
It's your baby boy. It's your son.
He is my. I bought a shirt that had his name on it. I was like,
I need.
Wait, what?
I was so giddy. I was so. I don't know if it was a. I don't know if it was official. It was on Amazon, but like I thought it. I was like, because like it was right at. To my defense, it was right after the episode, and I was like, I need some Vermithor merch. I need.
I think you said that too.
I love my old man. Like he is amazing. I love him. I love him so much. And when he showed up, and they treated him like the build up to him. Like we knew what we saw him in season 1. Like we see him and they never named him, but we knew it was him. And so when Rhaenyra builds Vermithor up and she's like Vermithor, and by the way, Emma Darcy's Valyrian is like, Vermithor. Oh my fucking god. Like, no, but when all you hear it initially is just his steps, and you're like, oh my, because like with Sea Smoke, we saw him before he actually like showed up to like the ledge. But with like we saw him, but like with Vermithor, it's just a big shadow, and you're like, what the fuck? And when he shows up, and you're like, oh my god, he's fucking. And that's like the scale that they wanted to convey. We know he's not as big as Vhagar, but we know that like he is big enough for Vhagar if enough of people get on. Like I was just like, oh my god, Vermithor, my guy. I love him.
Can I speaking of Vermithor, I need to share something which I don't know why I never
wait hold on, JJ.
Oh my god,
this is like the 3rd comment I've gotten on a live stream about how I look. It's so goddamn funny.
No,
why they violate you like that, man? Like,
you know what, Jared Leto is very beautiful though, so
I mean I've gotten like the craziest shit. I got Jared Leto, I got fucking Keanu Reeves, I got PewDiePie you know.
Oh my God! Excuse me. I am compared to beautiful men. Woe is me.
Oh God!
He is unfortunately a very good-looking man. So
Yeah, good, correct.
Sorry, I had to pull that out. But no, JJ.
Hey, but hold on. I get Tom Holland.
Oh,
you know, wait.
All the time.
I can see it a little bit.
Wait.
I know. Me too.
I can see.
Josh is having an existential.
I need her to host with me next week, so I'm gonna be quiet. Now, understand?
No, I see it, and I'm like, I'll pull Zendaya. Why not?
Oh my God, that's funny. No, but JJ, I think I need to do.
Sorry,
we
guys.
need to do a video essay with you where you're breaking down all the lineages of all the dragons, so that I know which parent is which.
So I have a friend on TikTok, Chelsea, Hallowed Harpy. She's doing that right now as an entire series on Dragon Lane, and it's detailed as fork. Like, you need to check her out. Like, her shit is amazing.
What is
like,
it? What is it?
Hallowed Harpy. I recently bought a product from her Etsy account, and she's really into Dany and into dragons, and now she's doing an entire series on dragon, like, who came from who.
Harpy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I'm following.
It's all in a playlist right now, and it's very, very detailed.
Dragons? Okay. All right.
So I definitely want to recommend her. She's great in that stuff.
Yeah,
really,
because
really
it's
great.
Because I'm looking at all these comments. Are like, I've heard
Already follow them.
Vermithor and Silverwing are Cyrax's parents, and I'm like, wow, this is so interesting. I'm like, did Balerion have any children? I don't know.
Balerion did not lay eggs, but I'm sure Vhagar did. Miraculous.
Oh yeah. How else would they know that Vhagar is a she-dragon?
Correct. It's a she, because she laid eggs. And then it was Dreamfire, and then so on. And Dreamfire is a mother to a lot of dragons. a lot.
Yeah,
Dreamfire
is like the mother.
The mother, yeah. Oh, by the way, since we're speaking about Vermithor, do you guys remember? Obviously, remember season 1, Daemon is singing to him like in Valyrian. So it was translated. Have you guys ever read the translation for it?
I saw a screenshot of it, but I don't remember what it said.
So can I read it live? Very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Fire breather, winged leader, but 2 heads to a 3rd sing. From my voice, the fires have spoken, and the price has been paid with blood magic. With words of flame, with clear eyes, to bind the 3, to you I sing. As one gathers, and with 3 heads, we shall fly as we were destined, beautifully, freely.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The blood magic mention?
Yeah, that was what stuck out to me.
That stuck out immediately. And the 3 heads has the dragon.
Yeah. Interesting.
So do you
From my voice, the fires have spoken, the price has been paid with blood magic.
The price has been paid.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry. I have an eyelash in my eye. It's killing me. I'm so sorry.
No, but like that's and like, okay, the other comment, the why didn't they just listen to the dragon, right? Like, bro, like, they pieced out. Like, they were like, we're not like, they had valid criticisms, like, you guys are treating these dragons like they're pets or they're war horses, and they're not that way. The when they were talking about the dragon keepers, and like one was like they just completely dismiss, like, no, like, we get it, but it's still dumb. Like, we can still have that argument.
I love that they included that, because I don't think they ever talked about it in Fire and Blood, that like the dragon keepers had like an issue with them claiming all of the dragon. I thought that was really that was what we were talking about, right? The dragon keepers.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. I didn't want to bring up like an entirely different topic. Like, oh shit, no, no. But I did think it was interesting, even though like, because like the entire, like, based on how the show is presenting it, the dragon has a very big say on who gets to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
So when people on Twitter were saying like, this bastardizes, I was like, okay, well, let's hang back on that a little bit, because in my view, Sea Smoke basically like banged on Adam's door and was like, yo, I'm your new mount. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I do think it's cool to show that like the Dragon Keepers have their own like understanding, and like they built their entire lives around how they worked dragon claiming and the rituals and the culture surrounding that. And I love that they included that. At the same time, I was also kind of like, yeah, but like this is more of a shattered my worldview situation rather than a complete bastardization. I was like, no, I think the dragons are kind of proving that like they're gods. Like, and somebody made an interesting point, and I was wondering what you guys thought about it. Somebody said, you know, if the dragons are your gods, would it be impressive and something to consider that like one of the dragons that you consider your gods claimed some random guy? Like, wouldn't that be like a really big moment for you? But like obviously like there's a lot of nuance in that. So I was curious what you guys thought about like the whole phenomenon there.
I mean, you have to realize something. Like the dragons have been ridden by noble lords and these dragon lords for thousands of years, and all of a sudden non-nobles can ride them.
Yeah,
it absolutely will shatter your point of view. Like, and Rhaenyra is forced into that position, and it's happening so quickly. Even the dragon keepers who were, I would say, like conservative, maybe because they were so like the old way, the traditional way, and all of a sudden they're told you got to break away from the tradition. They can't even process what's happening because everything is happening really, really fast. So to me, that scene was actually really beautiful. And it's kind of like, I'm not crying, I swear. My eyes scratched up.
No, you're good.
Talking about dragon claiming has made me emotional. And I just
especially with Ruben mentioned in the comments with Septon Barth being confirmed being right on so many things.
Yeah. When George was like, he got a lot of right. JJ was like, this changes everything.
Because again, anybody that reads Fire and Blood understands like how it's truth to history. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like how it presents things, it presents facts and all that. So you have to take
sources in a history book. It's sources, right?
It's propaganda
and people always run into that. People always run into that problem, and I always have to like caution them because they're like, "But it says in Fire and Blood that this happened." I'm like, "Who said that?
Who said it?"
That's did Septon? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
This is a very good question.
Who do you think wrote the song? The Three Dragons only come about during the Could it be from Visenya?
Ooh, that's a good point.
I was also
very good question.
But I was also thinking Aegon as well, because I feel like Aegon
it would have been. Well, yeah, that's the dragon has three heads. Comes from
Aegon.
Yeah,
them, two of them. Like even that's confirmed. Like even
the
by
leader in the Two Fists.
Correct. Yeah. But who would have written the song? I bet. Vanna, that's a great question. It's Visenya. It has to be because she dwelled into a lot of blood magic. So she would have been the one. Like she was known as a witch. So like people thought she was a witch. So yeah, it was probably Vanna. You wrote that. Visenya that wrote the song. Oh my god, this is so cool. Great question.
No,
so excited.
No, exactly. Like like these are the things that I love doing. Like especially with like House of the Dragon, because we have like, and I am one to say this, that a lot of our success is from this show. Like it's from you two, obviously, and like it's been like a whirlwind of great things because I decided to reach out to you guys and then do it. And like it's been really fun to listen to JJ especially talk about like the lore about it, because I've gone back and I started re-listening to Fire and Blood again, and I am at the part where Jaehaerys is taking over and Maegor's died, and that makes me wonder.
Jaehaerys, you mean?
Yeah, Jaehaerys.
Okay.
Sorry, Jaehaerys. Yeah, Jaehaerys
you're
takes
fine,
over, and it got me thinking. JJ, I don't know. You probably knew this, but 7 new shows are being in they're in different development that we know of.
They have been for a long time. Like for a long time, you heard about Sea Snake, the 9 Voyages. You've heard about Nymeria and 10,000 Ships, the Empire of Yeti, the Golden Empire, the Duncan Egg. There were even talks of like Robert's Rebellion, which I Please don't adapt that.
Yeah.
It just feels like everything's been covered, but like I don't know what they could do with that. You know,
And again, the whole point of Robert's Rebellion is not knowing.
right?
Yeah, agreed.
Like that's
agreed.
the mystery is the point. And also with books not being done without Howland Reed, the only living witness that can attest to what happened, like I don't trust HBO to fill in the gaps with truth.
Yeah.
Also,
I
it's
just
like
don't.
not to be that guy, but like to me, Robert's Rebellion is like the ultimate incel like era of like I want this. I want Ned Stark just killing people. It's like no.
It reminds me of like the cast Henry Cavill as Aegon the Conqueror, and I'm like, all right, man, like, all right, bro.
I
cast
blocked
Keanu
people.
Reeves as Darth Revan, like, all right, man, like, all right, man. I'm sure Keanu Reeves is a lovely person, but like that mentality of like, oh, I want this. It's like, okay, dude. All right.
I'll be honest with you, like any fan casting from now on to me, like I'm so done with it. Like I try to avoid it as much as I can. And also like tagging actors, like bring this one into Star Wars, bring this one into House of the Dragon. Like stop doing that. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like they can't I think of the Japanese actor Hiroyuki Sanada from the Shogun. He said he likes Star Wars, and like everybody's tagging him to be in Star Wars. Maybe he does not want to be in Star Wars. It's really weird. I don't know. I'm not a fan of like interacting with real people in that way.
The only exception I'll
really
make
strange.
is Paul Giamatti as Unwin Peak. I want Paul.
You
that's
said that. I'm like, I don't want to hate on Paul Giamatti. I don't want to.
It's only because I know he has the chops to be so hateable in that role.
That is true.
I'm like, if he was Unwin Peak, and I don't want to spoil anything, but if he was Unwin Peak,
all my homies say it on Peak.
he would be such an asshole. But anyway,
so
I do have one fan cast. I'm gonna get it out of the way. It's and I've talked about it on my TikTok account twice. It's the only one that I'll entertain. It's Jamie Campbell Bower as Brandon Rivers in Dunkin' Egg.
Let me look this up. What's his name?
Jamie Campbell Bower. He was what the fuck is the villain in Stranger Things? I hate that show. The show is terrible. Vecna.
It is Vecna. Oh, that would be really good casting, actually.
He is
as Blood Raven.
He is Blood Raven.
He would be creepy as fuck.
Whoa!
Exactly.
Whoa. Give him the birthmark. And
oh my god!
He's thin. He's tall. He's blonde.
Perfect.
Adam, correct. In Dunkin' Egg, it's a perfect opportunity.
And he's British. Yes.
Yes. There's a chance.
Yes.
See, like in here.
He was what's his name in Sweeney Todd?
Was he?
He was the guy who was like going after Joanna.
Oh shit, you're right.
That's him.
That is him.
A young sailor who meets with Sweeney Todd at the beginning of the movie. And oh, he would be perfect as Blood Raven.
You'd be perfect as Blood Raven.
But
like, I love that casting, JJ. Good job.
Like not to like
stay with Paul Giamatti as Unwin. He would be.
Not to like to build off what JJ was saying with like fan casting. I'm at the stage with both Marvel, Star Wars, and HBO. It's like, dude, they have such great casting directors. Just let them do their work. Like,
not lately.
Not lately, but you know, but Star Wars, yes. Marvel, no.
Marvel, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
MCU
we
casting in shambles.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Marvel.
No, I had to take my videos down because people are mass reporting me, bitches.
Yeah. No, but to get kind of back on, Bryce, thank you for the $20 super chat.
Chad.
Not to completely change the subject, but how do you think Alex Rivers' story plays out after the text in Booker's show? How do we think Alys Rivers will play out?
Oh, this is kind of a spoiler, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit of a spoiler, but also they changed the character.
They did.
So
they did.
It's very difficult to like guess where they're gonna go next. Like even if you know book material, it's very hard to like even use that now because the character has been changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the book, Alys Rivers has connection with Aemon One Eye, not Daemon. Like that's a big change.
Yeah, that's the biggest change. Yeah,
that's a big one, and that may still come because Aemon still has to go to Harrenhal at some point. He has to. He just has to.
It's
because Daemon is there.
Well, also it's not even like a spoiler because they already hinted at it in the show because they're like, oh, if you meet Aemon.
True. Yeah, that's true.
My uncle is a challenge I welcome or something like that. But also like the show took Alys in a direction of like the weirwoods and the old gods and like
Which
the green seers, because she's showing visions to Daemon or giving him visions or doing something to him. So like they're going in that direction. Well, you saw her wearing the dress with the weirwood leaves on it, embroidered, making the paste. Like all of those things weren't really present in Fire and Blood. At least nobody would know. Like if she was making paste from the weirwood. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Alys. I love what they're doing with her. It's a good change. It's a great character.
All I gotta say is, JJ, Daemon, get the fuck out of Harrenhal.
This is like 3 episodes too late.
And get the fuck out. I'm not even like this is the thing. Like this is crazy. Jim Beam, we do read the chat. See, I'm proving it now. We do read the chat.
I'm looking. I keep doing this. I'm checking out everybody.
So like here's the thing. I've loved Daemon, and this is the thing that they've done perfectly. So like the first couple of visions, I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, yeah, all right. And then the mother thing happened, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm done with these. But then they brought it back to Viserys, because we had talked about this in our reaction and in a little bit of our discussions as well, that
excuse me,
that we hoped that it would lead up to Viserys, because if you think about Daemon's life as a whole, right, he's always been the second son and has always wanted to be next to his brother, and he just never was able to get to that point with Viserys. Viserys always had him at an arm's reach. So him having the visions of that moment that we had in episode 6, where he is giving that speech to Daemon, but it's not in fury, it's in sadness. Like in seeing the dynamic between those two in a vision was so well, like it got rid of everything that happened in episode 5 for Daemon, especially with the mother stuff. Like that was just strange to me.
I do want to bring up with Harrenhal, like, because I know this has been kind of a point of emphasis, like, for a lot of creators and a lot of people watching the show. It's like, I personally don't like what they're doing with Daemon and Harrenhal. Like, the characterization I found it just to be really 50-50. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's cool, I like what they're doing. And other times I'm like, that's weird. Like, they're just making Daemon the absolute ultimate villain.
Yeah.
Like,
I go back and forth with it, because I think Harrenhal as a castle is really cool, spooky. It's very horror-like, which it's one of the best castles, and like not best, but you know what I mean. Like it's just mysterious. It's weird. There's a lot of cool shit around it. I go back and forth. It's like they want us to like really dislike the character. He's power hungry, that he doesn't care about his kids, doesn't care about Rhaenyra. He wants the crown. He's this, but like
it's a more nuanced conversation.
It's a little more complicated. Daemon is a complicated character, and it's obvious to me it's been like that, because even from the first vision that it's all about the family and the fact that he cannot be governed, but yet he wants to take everything and not give anything back.
Yes.
And Rhaenyra says it perfectly, like he can possess me, but he cannot be possessed. So it's a take and take from Daemon, not give and take. Do you know what I mean? Like So I think that's the whole point of him going through all of these things, like to face his own demons, being a second son, which we've talked about it many times. It's a very strong thematic element throughout all of the series. So even occurring in the Song of Ice and Fire saga, you see a lot of that. Otto Hightower, another prime example. Daemon, like we can go on. But I do think with the Viserys finally showing up to him, that we're getting somewhere with this, and that because Viserys is his ultimate demon. I don't want to use that word. You know what I mean? I think that haunts him, a ghost, I would say, as a better word. So I do wish that and I think this is because of the episode shortages. I mean, season shortages. Yeah. I do wish that he had a relationship with his daughters. It doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to be warm or like cuddly or hug them or none of that. I want some conversations between him and his daughters, particularly Baela. Baela, because again, burden of knowledge. You've read Fire and Blood. You know that him and Baela, they have like a special father-daughter relationship. Like he taught her a lot. All of her skills, like her being fiery and being fire and blood and being just like very like, I don't know, high energy. It's all from Daemon, because Lena was so soft, very feminine, very girly, and just like kind of going with the flow, but Daemon was a fire one. And
right.
I kind of wish they had that.
And if you read Fire and Blood, Baela was snatching some wigs. Baela was fucking shit up.
Tiny bit, just a tiny bit.
I remember reading it and I was like, go ahead, girl, go ahead.
Yeah.
I always say she's Daemon, but without the evil.
Yeah, for sure. I
really wish that they had scenes together, but then again, like somebody, which episode was it? Behind the scenes, like Emma Darcy and I think Matt Smith were talking about not having scenes this season, and that they miss working with each other. And this was like a long time ago, so I think it should have clicked all of us. I'm like, holy shit, they're not going to be sharing scenes together.
Yeah,
and they only had one.
And it almost makes you realize, like, it's kind of like the same thing with like Reese Fons is Otto Hightower. It's like it's like the one big scene is like probably his best scene ever is Otto Hightower when he fucking cusses out Aegon the second. And like the same thing with like why don't we ever get, like, the only time we ever saw Daemon and Rhaenyra together is when they're arguing. It's like, and it's like their best moment together. Like when Daemon's like, he was always afraid of me, talking about Viserys, and Rhaenyra's like, he was not afraid of you, Daemon. He could not trust you. And it was just like, I just love Emma's acting there. They did such a great job. And Daemon, like, Matt Smith, like, somebody pointed out, they had the scene where Rhaenyra is walking up to him and she's like, you didn't do it, and Daemon's like, well, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. I'm going to the river like that. And it's like you're so wrong, but he's like gaslighting her and be like, I'm raising an army for you. She's like, you're killing children. Don't do that. Like, she's just like so good. I love it. And obviously Emma, like Rhaenyra, like looking over at Daemon and then being like,
you okay?
No. And Daemon's like, I didn't order him to kill.
He's smirking the whole time.
Can I have a moment with Daemon by myself, please? Like, it's like, oh my fucking god. I love it so much.
I mean, on the point of Emma Darcy, I really hope that they get an Emmy this season, because I think them and Tom Carly as Aegon the Second, like, those two are the ones that I'm like, those two deserve the Emmys this season.
Emma's so good.
So here's the other thing, though, with, and I think we also have the burden of those deleted scenes of season 1 after Laena dies and he is seen comforting the girls.
That's what kills me. That's what kills me.
I think that's the problem, is that they set that up and then didn't deliver it. And now we're stuck with. Well,
also it's like,
but even not in universe, in actual scenes in the show, there's a moment where he's teaching Baela how to speak Valyrian, and then and the girl, and she reaches out and gives him a little peck on the cheek, like a very cute little father-daughter moment, like. And then, like, again, burden of knowing those scenes, the hug after Laena dies, like that he comforted girls, like, I wish they didn't do that. That way we don't have to deal with this like absentee father shit. But Ruben said, like, I hope Daemon's vision of Laena will hopefully lead him into finally putting the time for the girls. Hopefully, I hope to God, because again, why doesn't he have a relationship with his daughters? Why is Baela saying I hate him? Even if they don't have a relationship, even if she hates him, I want to know why exactly. What specifically? Is it because he married Rhaenyra so quickly after your mother's death?
Yeah.
Like, if that's the reason, that is a legit reason to hate your father.
Yeah, maybe right in that she actually says that. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe like actually talk about that. And like,
correct. Yes.
And like, look, like, I don't know Sarah Hess. I don't know her. I don't know her. So I'm not like, when I say this, like, I don't mean it like in a personal way, but like, it just feels like there's like this vendetta to like only ever paint him in a certain light. And don't get me wrong. Daemon, by George R.R. Martin's own words, is the wonder and terror of his age. Wonder like the entire reason why that's his favorite like Targaryen is because of how complicated and complex he is. So like, give us like a balance to that. Like, yes, he's doing fucked up shit. Can we see the other side that makes him so chaotic? You know what I'm saying? Like,
if if they can humanize Aegon the Elder, and they have,
right, and they have.
Tom Glencairn has done a wonderful job. For me, he's been a standout.
Yeah.
He's been a standout
sure.
because I think they're doing such a great job with the character and being as despicable as he is. And also, because two things can be true at the same time. I don't have to fucking say this, but I have to because this is goddamn internet and Twitter exists. Two things can be true at the same time. Character can be despicable and also sympathetic at the same time, given the context and what's happening to them and around them.
Cersei Lannister literally exists.
Thank you. My God.
I don't know why these fucking assholes on Twitter and social media ever get on their high horse about like, are you saying that they're a bad person or are you saying that they're a good person? It's like, motherfucker, have you read not even read the books? Have you watched Game of Thrones? Have you watched Lena Headey's performance as Cersei Lannister? Have you not felt sympathy and also said, I fucking hate that woman so much?
Or have you not watched Kiss by Fire when like Jaime Lannister's going off about his speech about like why he killed the Mad King?
Yeah.
The nuance exists. Like the entire crux of Song of Ice and Fire existing is that George R.R. Martin, correct me if I'm wrong, wanted to like deconstruct the narrative of like, oh yeah, like fantasy. Like I wanted it. Help me out here.
Deconstruction of a hero or what it means to be a hero.
Yeah.
Like Jaime Lannister, a child killer who fucks his sister, he commits a heroic act. And also, that act is seen as cowardly at the same time.
Yeah.
You had one job. You keep your king alive, and you failed at it. You broke an oath. You broke a promise. So, like, you have to look at those both things. People were saved, but you're also a king killer.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's also a big thing in fantasy. Think about that. Like, kinslaying. Like what the Targaryens are doing now, especially like let's say we throw that into the Lord of the Rings. That's heinous. Like everything that is happening in this world is so heinous.
It's a tragedy.
I have a theory that God struck them down, like killed the dragons because of kinslaying during Dance with Dragons. Families should not be warring with each other. What did Rhaenys say to Rhaenyra when in episode 1, I believe, or 2? There's no sin more. No one is more as cursed as a kinslayer or like when families are at each other's throats. God's like
she said there's no war more ugly than a war between kin, and no war as devastating as a war between dragons. So it's like you're multiplying. Like not only is it a kinslaying dynastic dispute, but it's also like you're using attack Apache helicopters while you're doing that, and we're all going to die. Like nobody's gonna win. And so
even like in a series, not series, season 2 finale trailer, there's like a monologue. Kristen Cole says the dragons dance, and we are nothing but dust beneath their feet, which is a great line. Yeah. And again, even Kristen Cole, despicable as he is, there are moments in the series where you kind of feel for him.
Fabian is acting his ass off.
He's fantastic. Fabian Franco is fantastic, especially after Rook's rest. And the way he changes everything for him because this is the first time that you're seeing conflict from literally the sky. The fire is raining on you. That changes everything for
and
you.
He was the best person to use for that situation because he had military combat experience. Like he was used to fighting. He's one of the like JJ can help me out here. He was one of the best fighters of his era. Like
100%.
I fucking hate that asshole, but like goddamn if he wasn't the best of his era. Like he was insane. He's so experienced. So when he sees fucking nukes wrestling each other in the sky and he goes, oh my god, like you go, oh wow, shit really is real. Like the veteran is like, oh god, I don't know what to do.
It's the horror. Like you're seeing your comrades and like burnt to crisp.
It turned to literal dust.
It changes everything. So they're doing a fabulous job with the character, being as despicable as he is, and they give him that moment, especially post Rook's stress and everything that's happened. Even during like the walking through King's Landing, parading Maelys' head around, and Gwaine Hightower says that this is no victory, and he doesn't feel that for Kristen Cole because he's looking around like everything is like gloomy, like the whole mood. Even
And
though
I
the
love
scene
how
was
they-
like bright and sunny, like everything felt
I
very
love how
gloomy.
they do Gawain Hightower in the show too,
Oh, I
because
love
like,
it. It's
like he,
perfect.
if you look at it, when Kristen Cole wakes up from his knockout sesh and at Rook's Rest, Gawain leads like the charge to taking the castle, and he doesn't
Mhm.
take any glory for that. Like Gawain is like looking at it and then going, dude, shit's so fucked. like
Yeah.
he really is his father's son in that he's like big picture, like, oh dude, shit's so fucked up, man. Like I don't know how we're gonna
Yeah,
fix
Gawain
it.
is the political tactician, while Christian
Kristen's
Cole
like-
and Aemon are like the
Kristen's
military
don't they-
tacticians.
Kristen's
I
like,
can't-
don't they know we won? And Gawain's like, you call that winning? Okay, all right.
You know, I can't help but think about like, what if Otto Hightower sent his son to Red Keep, to court instead of his daughter? Like, I bet
is
he would have.
Ooh.
He
I'm
would have
curious,
married. He would have probably tried to marry Gawain Hightower to Rhaenyra, and
Rhaenyra?
none of this shit would have.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Corlys would end, or Corlys or daughter would end up with Viserys.
I just think
Lena would
that,
end up with Viserys, so it would have been like flipped the other way around.
I just think that whatever to add on what to JJ said, I think whatever would have happened in this alternate universe would have been significantly better
Than what
ended up happening. Like
Mhm.
like
No, yeah.
maybe Corlys would have been mad, maybe Corlys would have been pissy. Like
He
I
would. Targaryens still have dragons, and
they
you
would
have
still
wooden
have
ship.
dragons.
But I still
So-
think Corlys would come on top in this alternate universe because his
I don't
lineage
think,
would continue.
I think it depends. Like there's enough variables that I think honestly depending, because like here's the thing, right? Like Rhaenys, I feel like is a big variable for Corlys in this situation.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
Rhaenys is like
Yeah.
really if Rhaenys is really apprehensive about like Corlys, I really feel like you shouldn't be acting out like this. I feel like Corlys, out of all the people to listen to, I feel like Rhaenys would be the one person that he would be like, fine, fuck, like one of the.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. It's so funny you bring that up because Otto is always accused, and even Viserys is in Fire and Blood. Otto Hightower wants his blood on the throne, right?
Right.
That's like his driving force.
Right.
Technically, Corlys Velaryon does too,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the
Yeah.
same way.
because you're putting King in a very difficult position. Because in universe, it's known that Laenor preferred men. So
Mhm.
now you want to marry your only daughter, your heir, to a man that likes men.
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you see where I'm going with that? And
No,
you're
yeah.
So
It makes
Corlys
it
and
a
Otto
tougher
are like
sell.
correct. They
Makes it
both
tougher
want
sell, yeah.
power, their blood on the throne, and
Yeah.
putting Viserys in a very precarious
Awkward in
position.
situation.
Which
Yeah.
Viserys, as we love Viserys, we do. Paddy Constantine is great. He's kept peacetime for a long time, which he was not stern. Like, what you say goes. You're the fucking king.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like, if you say my daughter will marry Gawain Hightower, end of discussion. It's law. But you have to kind of like play politics as well. So
no, yeah, absolutely.
it's a
But,
tough
like,
one.
Going back to Kristen Cole, like
Mhm.
remember, him and Aemon were pushing for open field combat, and when Rook's Dress happens, he finally understands. Oh shit! Like
Yeah.
we can't
Changes everything.
we cannot put the genie back in the bottle.
I remember when
it's not happening.
people talked about like Allison's conversation with Cole, like in the immediate aftermath of Rook's Rest, and
Yes.
Mhm.
like, and people were like he was purposefully stonewalling her, and I was like, I think that's a piece of it, but I also think he's like legitimately just
Scared.
Shock.
horrified. Like he's like
He's
when he started when she was like, what happened? He was like, I saw men walking around just casually on fire. He could not believe what he and
Yeah.
like to me, I was like, yeah, this is a humanizing moment for him. Like this is a really good human. I can't stand him. I love making memes about how shitty he is. But like but like I see that scene and I go, this works because he's like
Yeah.
he's
correct.
going, it's like he's going, oh my god, I had no idea.
And
I
he says it.
hadn't-
Doesn't he say like we've given the war to the dragons?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite lines in the entire in the series, like top 10 at least. Like such a
Yeah.
great that moment with Alison Hightower is great.
And didn't they kind of
Yeah.
like work on that too? Like he's going through all the Crownlands houses and being cocky and like a dickhead. And then
Yes,
when he
yeah.
gets to Rook's Rest, he changes his entire demeanor. How cavalier he's been about the Crownlands campaign.
Mhm.
Only for him when Aemon is Prince Regent to be like, hey, I don't have the men to go after Harrenhal. Like, maybe we should like calm down a little bit. And Aemon's like, no, like, and Kristen's like, no, I really think that we should like calm down a
He's
little
being,
bit.
he's being pragmatic, and Aemon is
and we didn't see that earlier on. Like it was almost like he, JJ, I think you said it during one of our reactions. It was almost like he wanted to die. Like it was like he was almost like wanting to die. And so when he sees that, he goes, "Oh, this is what it is." I
might get my thing. Go ahead, Hereth.
Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say I think it really enhances like the main story of A Song of Ice and Fire, because like it's like this is why Robert Baratheon is so against the Targaryens before, like obviously because of Mad King stuff, but like also this entire history, because we know that Robert Baratheon was the one that requested the scholars look into this and the Maesters look into the Dance of Dragons and what happened. So this enhances Game of Thrones, because it's like, yeah, I don't want Daenerys here because she'll fucking do this shit. So it's like, I love how it's like kind of like going full circle, and like how Christian Cole is like fear of the dragons and the war is enhancing the main story.
I think with Robert, go ahead, JJ. Go ahead.
No, you started talking. I'm sorry.
I think with Robert, I like a lot of his hatred for the Targaryens is literally based off of the fact that Rhaegar took Lyanna, and like he, so he might have very well used that to justify, like, oh, I mean, look what they do, like they're pieces of shit anyway. But like,
my grandmother, Targaryen grandmother, was burning shit. Like the dragons have been present for 170 years.
JJ, she wasn't a real Targaryen. Like I love the history and lore, because like they conveniently ignore, because Robert's like, if it's true, if the rumors are true, a little bit of the stag and the dragon mingled back in the day. I was like, oh, you mean like 30 years ago when your grandma, like, I was like, motherfucker, your daddy's mama was a Targaryen.
But Ned implies it too, that you have a stronger claim to the throne.
The entire crux of him taking the throne is because of his blood.
It strengthens his claim much more, even because again, when you have a conquest or rebellion in this case, like you have the royalists and you have the rebels, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I am the rebel and I take over and I have a little bit of that royal in me, I am going to use that to get the royalists.
Right.
Yeah.
How do people not get that? Like I swear to God, this book is being read by children. I swear to God. Dora the Explorer is on the 2 aisles down. Please put down A Song of Ice and Fire. I am begging you, stop reading.
It's literally the meme of like, oh, I watch House of Dragon or read Fire and Blood, but we don't understand the story. It's like, it's the little boys meme.
Please, like, I swear to God, but these fucking kids picked up Fire and Blood 2 months ago, and they're acting like fucking A Song of Ice and Fire experts. I heard somebody say, oh, did you know Lady Jane fucked Jaehaerys in Fire and Blood? I'm like, the fuck are you talking about?
It's like armchair like readers.
One of the things.
Who says that?
One of the things to keep in mind, like, and I'm glad JJ brought that up, because like one of the things to keep in mind is that like when you're talking about Fire and Blood, one of the biggest appeals to Fire and Blood is that it's like secondary and tertiary
trivia,
sources.
Secondhand trivia.
Like, the appeal is that you don't know what the fuck is true. You're like reading this and you go, Septon Eustace says that they all died in each other's arms and cried. Mushroom says they all fucked and then died. It's like, and in your head you're like, I wonder if it was somewhere in the middle. Like that's the appeal of Fire and Blood. So when you use Fire and Blood as a reference, when you use a source as a reference, it can work, but you also have to keep in mind, like, did Mushroom say that? Did Septon Eustace say that? Because they all have different reasons to not be trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? Like with Mushroom, you just go, this is too outlandish to be serious. Like there's no fucking way. But with Septon Eustace, you go, okay, like what was his angle here? Like why would he say that? Why would he say, oh, she was angry with him and that's why he went? It's like, okay, how do you know that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
how do you know that? Exactly.
How do you know? Like, were you there? Like I don't know if any of you have watched Dragon Ball Z Team 4-Star, but like one of the funniest fucking lines is that like Frieza tells the story to Vegeta of like, what here's how I killed your dad or whatever like that. But there would be an entire scene where Vegeta's dad has a conversation and Frieza's not involved in the conversation at all. And then Frieza would be like, and that's how this happened. And Vegeta would go, how did you know about the parts you weren't there for? And Frieza would just ignore it. And you go, how did you know about the parts you weren't there for?
Can you please tell me season, episode, and the timestamp of that? I need to clip that and use it.
I'll send you a clip, JJ. We got each other's numbers. I'll send you the clip because he just goes like Frieza says that to fuck with Vegeta, and he goes like, and that's how I killed your dad and blew your planet up. The end. And Vegeta just goes, how did you know about the parts you weren't there for? And Frieza's just like, it's just like, yeah, like no,
that is
it's exactly how it is. How did you know about the parts you weren't there for?
Well,
like,
and here's the other thing, and this is how I've always looked at Fire and Blood and House of the Dragon. Fire and Blood is the unreliable narrators. These are secondhand storytellers. This is what I feel like is actually happening. Like these are what the true events are.
Maybe. It just I need to know the involvement of the author as far as the script, as far as the production, as far as like how much is he overseeing House of the Dragon? How many notes is he giving?
And it doesn't seem like he is.
I don't know. I that's why I don't want to like overstep. When people ask me, "Oh, is the House of the Dragon true telling of Fire and Blood?" I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's an adaptation. It's
an adaptation of a book, and they picked up like. And I want to address one thing because people always use it against me. It's like, oh, how can you talk about unreliable Alys and Hightower? I'm like, I always have said this. Alys and Hightower aging down is a change. That is not a rumor. Somebody being born in a year, blah, blah, is not a rumor. That is a change. No, Maelor is a change. Maelor is a child that was born that existed. When they said no Daron initially, and then somebody brought up like remember mid-season 2, Daron exists. Like not having Daron is outrageous. A queen had a child, and the history forgot. That's why like I can't say House of the Dragon is like a true telling. Where's Nettles? Okay. Where is Maelor?
Yeah.
Allison being aged down.
True telling my ass. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Those are the things that upset me. Shit like that. What happened with blood and cheese in Helena's room? Nobody will know. And I brought up one fact. I'm like, oh, Alison Hightower was present during Blood and Cheese in the book. Like, or she fucking told somebody she was there because she was secretly fucking the commander.
It's propaganda.
It's possible. It is possible. And
you have to approach these things in that way. You have to be careful with how you. For sure.
And it's mostly Team Green positive because that's who were in power at the time.
Like why would Allison admit to any sources whatsoever
what she was doing
in
a
world where no internet exists? Why would the fuck would she go up and be like, yeah, I was fucking the Lord Commander of the Kings? Like,
put it in the history.
Like, why would she say that?
It's like talking to children. I swear to God. I swear it becomes so frustrating. Oh, Lady Jaehaerys fucked Jace. Like, what are you talking about? It is a well, yeah, Mushroom says that she asked Jaehaerys to eat her out, and I'll give you army. That's what Mushroom claims. A Munkin has it different.
I forgot about that entirely.
I also love like Simon Vance, who does the audiobook for Fire and Blood, and every time I do my Crusader Kings playthrough, I put that in the background because I want to hear his voice is so good. I aspire to be as like because. Whenever he go to the dance of the, because I think you guys have all read Fire and Blood, so you guys know the gist of what happens. And so, but my favorite thing about Fire and Blood every single time when they get to the dance of the dragons and Mushroom becomes a big source person for that, he'll bring up what Septon Eustace says, and he'll treat it like a historian, and then he'll be like, Mushroom says that a nuke came down from the heavens and killed everyone. And I remember one time, I think that who's the guy that wrote in universe? Who wrote Fire and Blood? Who's the Septon? Gildane. Okay. And so Gildane will have such disdain for Mushroom. You can feel it. You can feel it inside. He'll be like, yes, and Mushroom declared that Jane Eyre demanded that Jaehaerys do cunnilingus on her. These are small claims for a small man, and I'm just like, whoa. Like, Dan will be like, fuck this motherfucker.
Fuck Mushroom.
and I'm not saying, and as we all understand, like it's entirely possible that certain things Mushroom said were entirely accurate.
Correct.
And there are a lot of things in season 1 that are Mushroom.
like all you have to do is really, honest to God, like not trying to call the people who read Fire and Blood stupid who say these things that JJ complains about.
Stan culture.
but like just off of reading, you could say, oh, there could be some truth there, or yeah, Mushroom was just bullshitting here. Like every time they say Mushroom says this, you'll go, oh, that could actually happen, or oh yeah, he was filling out pages. He was full of shit here. Like there's no way.
And the thing is, Mushroom is an easy source to use because he was close to the royals. So yeah, of course, Gildane is going to include him in like the rumors that he was spreading around or sharing.
Why wouldn't he?
But why would? And also, again, if you have two brain cells that are not fighting for the third spot in your fucking head, you're gonna be like, oh. You're gonna be like, let me include Mushroom because he was close to the royals.
Yeah,
he grew up with the Princess Rhaenyra. He probably knows her better than anybody.
He probably
but he's
does.
Also a little pervert who says really salacious,
sure.
sexually aggressive things. Like so, like you will. Gildane will do that, and Gildane wrote Fire and Blood 100 years after the events. So he's literally just taking secondhand accounts and putting him into this historical book, but also listing out events that have actually happened. That's what historians do. And I saw a tweet the other day. The entire Targaryen line is made up of bastards because Rhaenys Targaryen had a bastard. Aegon was sterile, or not even sterile, couldn't have children. I'm like, this is canonically correct. That's what the tweet said. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Is that possible? Yeah. Yes. Is it possible? It's possible.
It is. Yes.
It's
by
possible.
law of for sure.
If you think of Aegon the Conqueror not having children for 10 years, that's weird.
Right.
It's real weird. It's a little weird for the king to have two wives and no children.
And somebody brought up, they were like, okay, they said in fairness, he's been king for how long was Aegon king?
Oh, like 50 years or something.
They were like in 30 years he never had more than two kids. Like
it's weird.
It's weird, but exactly.
Yeah, he could have had one, but this person literally it's canonically in the book that Aegon did not have children and the entire Targaryen line is a bastard. No. Which again, if that's actually true and George R. Martin says it, it will be hilarious.
It would be very funny.
It would be so fucking funny. I would love it. Funny. But I cannot like take that as canon because of a rumor, because of possibility. Oh, it's kind of weird that the Conqueror didn't have kids for 10 years with two hot wives. You know what I mean? Like that's just you are making assumptions, and somebody's like, "Oh, it's canonically correct." I'm like, "Are you a child?"
Yeah, like that. Like I saw one saying, like somebody said on Reddit, and like I really need to get off of fucking Reddit, dude, because like some of the shit.
Get off the Reddit, dude. Fucking cesspool. Twitter too.
But like somebody was like, it's canonical that like Visenya was barren, and I was like, you don't know, like we don't know this.
How would you know?
It's entirely possible that she was, but we don't know. Here? That's the key. Like it's entirely possible that she was. We just don't know. This is what I'm trying to fucking tell you. Like that's what makes it cool that we don't know. No. Like that. Yeah. That's the important part here. You know what I'm saying?
Whoever was present, a maester, a historian, a septon, a divisor with Aegon the Conqueror and his wives, why would they be present in a dark room in a tower of Visenya doing magic to get herself pregnant? How would you know shit like this? You're gonna make assumptions. Oh, she was doing witchy shit. Yeah. Prove it. You saw that with your eyes, but you make assumptions because she's secretive and she talks a lot of weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like.
She's the more and I had one theory and I didn't really like I'm not a big Game of Thrones like content creator, so like it was more like a in my head kind of thing talking about it, but like in my theory, one option that could happen and what ended up happening in Fire and Blood's telling is that they just saw that Visenya was a very strong and independent woman. JJ knows where I'm going with this, and they said, "Oh, she's uppity, and she thinks that she's running shit, and she's like an unofficial kind of special advisor to the king. When I could be doing that. Oh, she's a witch and she's doing all this blood magic. And she can't have kids, actually. Now, you know what I'm saying? JJ knows what I'm fucking saying.
The second a woman takes power, she's doing witchy shit. She's fucking crazy. If they're grasping at power. Same with Rhaenyra, paranoid, crazy, mad. Like the crown was taken from you and you're being described by a historian as a mad and power crazy.
Every time.
Maegor with teeth every single fucking time.
That's every woman in Fire and Blood.
Pretty much. I
saw a Reddit post where they were like, like, where's the Rhaenyra that's Maegor with teats? I was like, this is a fucking source. It's like,
But Josh, even in universe, like I don't want to spoil why they call her Maegor with teats in Fire and Blood. When you read what's going on as you go on and how she earns the nickname Maegor with teats, if that's even the case, you can kind of add 2 and 2 because you're an adult person who can fucking think for yourself. Think for a
literary
second.
analysis. Holy fuck.
Is that what? But they of course use the word Maegor to apply negative connotation towards this woman whose right was stolen from her.
Even if you were a show bro, like only Otto uses it to make Daemon worse. Like Otto's like he would be a second Maegor, and that's like an adjective that they would use to like describe how bad somebody would be. I'm sure after Aegon the Fourth lets his presence known, they'll be like, he'll be a second Aegon the Fourth. Like trust me, like they'll just use that and say like, oh, like this woman who let's be real, I'm a sexist. I would never want her in charge anyway. She would be another Aegon the Fourth, legitimizing all the bastards that she conceived. And like every fucking time, bro. Like,
but let's
we were cooking there. I fucking love that.
We were cooking and we were talking for an hour and a half. We haven't mentioned episode 7.
So to get kind of back on, like, to talk about the strong women, we found out that Hugh Hammer is the bastard of Sarah Targaryen.
Yes, he is.
Which at the time, JJ was like, say brothel. Say
yeah.
house.
JJ was like, come on.
I dare you to do it, you little bitch. I dare you.
He said pleasure house. I said it's Sarah.
Yes,
it's fucking Sarah.
It's fucking Sarah. Which, if you think about it, is poetic justice.
It is.
That he takes his granddaddy's dragon, who his granddaddy hated his mom. Like, cannot make it any more poetic.
Please don't make me defend Jaehaerys. Jaehaerys didn't hate Sarah. He was just misogynistic.
He was just an incredibly bad, like
he was bad father. He did not hate his daughter, but he was a misogynist who hated her for the choices that she's made, not her.
Exactly. And we all have, like, for the lack of a better term, the black fish. I'll use a Game of Thrones term. The black fish of the family, where like we always have like that memory where you're like, okay, like this particular member of my family, like he's family, their family. But goddamn, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like fucking hell, get your shit together. We all have that. We don't have to like admit anything, but like we all have that. We all have that experience. So when I look at the Jaehaerys chapters, and I find them the most fascinating.
They really are.
And me and JJ have talked about it. Where like Alysane's final years, I cried when I first read it. Every time when she, and sorry to segue, when she talks to Balin about like, you'll be an even better king than your father, and this is after Aemon dies. And the narrator just goes, she didn't know. How could she know? And it's just like, something terrible I remember just feeling so bad for her, obviously bad for Balin because he's about to die, but like I felt bad for Alysanne because like she had dealt with so much loss. They had 12 children?
13.
13 children? And for her to like go through all of this shit, her husband doesn't know how to be a good father. God save him. God's save him. Like Alysanne sitting there, and like she had 2 major rifts because of his inability.
They're
like when he was like, she's a Lyseni whore, and like Alysanne was like, oh, I ain't talking to you for a while. Like I was just like, I feel for her. I love.
Okay,
Go
Can
ahead.
I-
I'm sorry.
can
I'm
I just-
rambling. Go ahead.
Can I describe Jaehaerys' reign
Please,
in one
no,
sentence?
please.
In one sentence. So I'm gonna reenact it. I'm Jaehaerys. Oh, I'm a king. This is really good. I like it. I'm Septon Barth. Oh, how about we bring sewers and clean water here? I think it'll be good. Jaehaerys again. Nah. I'm Alysane. Drink this. And then I'm Jaehaerys again. Okay, I get it. Fine. Build the roads, build the sewers.
So what happens is Captain Barth goes, you know what would be really cool? What if we gave everyone free health care? And Jaehaerys goes, nah. And Alysane goes, Jaehaerys, sweetie, hear me out. What if we did do that? And Jaehaerys goes, okay.
Okay.
And then New York Times comes out and goes, the greatest king we've ever known.
No, but
while
it's
his
just-
commoner hand and his wife did all the thinking and the working.
It should really be the reign of Septon Barth and Queen Alysane. Like,
Yeah,
that's what it should
yeah.
really be. Like Queen Alysane and the reign of Queen Alysane and Septon Barth. It's like, oh yeah, dude, totally. Like,
And like the other thing
Not
is
to
it's
take
like-
away. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead, JJ.
I was gonna say not to take away from Jaehaerys as a person. For the most part, he was a kind king. He was
yeah,
good
no,
king.
for sure.
Like it was a. But again, I've always said this: like you are as good as the people that you surround yourself with. If you
Right.
surround
Mhm.
yourself with power hungry
Presidents.
lick spittles, correct, exactly. So they are the perfect example of like three people working together to better the realm. And
Yeah.
they did for half a
Mhm.
century. This is the most peaceful the Westeros has ever been.
I'm gonna get libbed up for this one moment. And I have left wing views. I'm not a liberal, but like West Wing, I grew up on the West Wing. It's
Peak.
the
Peak.
most I
Peak.
love the like look Aaron Sorkin will Aaron Sorkin
Yeah.
he'll write his corny ass
He's
shit.
typical liberal.
But
Typical
damn
liberal.
if the acting wasn't top notch and it made me love all of the characters. But like I remember during the State of the Union, it's the episode I think called the State of the Union, and Jed Bartlett, who's the president of the United States, played by Martin Sheen. He goes
Love
out
it.
and talk every State of the Union, there's like a designated survivor, which is like the premise of the entire show, designated survivor. And he's talking to like the Secretary of Urban Development, they
Yeah.
always pick like a no-name guy to be it. And he talks to him and he shoots the shit with the Secretary of Urban Development. And he's like, hey, like, what are you gonna do here if the Capitol just blows up? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do that? And he goes, okay. And he was like, do you have a best friend? And he said, yeah. He said, do you trust him? Yes. Would you trust him with your life? He said, yeah. He said, that's your chief of staff. And I remember I was like, this is like a microcosm for how you should pick your cabinet. Like when you pick your advisors, you go, who's this person? Do you trust them? Do you trust them to sit you down and go, you're doing the wrong thing here. I don't care if you fucking fire me. This is what you're doing wrong. I don't give a fuck if you want to get mad at me over it. I'm not afraid to tell you this.
Yep.
That's the guy who's running your show. It's like, yeah, no, like
Right.
you're the guy, the buck stops with you, but you need to be smart enough to be like, the people telling me this advice, they're giving me good advice. You know what I'm saying? You have to be smart enough to recognize that. And sorry to get into like a West Wing segue, but like
that's a good
reminded me.
comparison.
Yeah.
Because if you are in charge, essentially, let's say you're the king, don't surround yourself with yes people that are going to indulge in every single one of your anything.
Bad indices.
Correct.
Yeah.
You need a great hand.
Correct. People are corruptible, especially when you're seated at the power. Power corrupts, or people that are already kind of corrupted, it corrupts them even more. You can look at it both ways. So like
And that man Eddard was doing a great job as Robert's hand, where he's like, I'm telling you, you're wrong.
You are wrong.
I will resign if you stay fuck you, dude. Like don't do this. You know what I'm saying?
And Ned Stark is a perfect choice for Robert, who is so impulsive and does whatever he wants. No qualms. And I swear to God, if it hadn't been for John Aaron literally running the show, let's be real, who calmed down Dorne?
Oh my God!
After Tywin murdered Elia,
Dornish war. If
correct. John Aaron calmed Dorne down. How he did it? What did he say to them? Is a mystery that we will never resolve. I would love to be in a room where John Aaron was sitting down with Doran Martell.
Yeah,
I would love to see what the fuck happened.
because
See,
he
that's-
would have had to pull out the stops, like he's like, Robert, I need you to not do anything for the next 6
do
months.
nothing.
I will be talking.
Do not
to
fuck
Doran
with
Martell.
Thorn.
Yeah.
Don't start no Essos wars. Don't
Nothing.
do shit. I need to talk to this man. I need to give him every present known to man. His sister just died. Like please, my God.
Not
Yeah.
died, brutally killed,
Brutally
and raped.
murdered. And Oberyn has a knife to my throat while I'm talking to Doran. Like, Doran, can you get your brother to take the gun out of my face? Like, please. Like, oh my God,
But also at the same time, Doran Martell, being as smart as he is, he knows that he's not going to be able to just march on the Crown Lands and Reach and everybody else. So whatever Jon Arryn was telling him, Doran in his head, like, yeah, talk your shit. This is gonna be the long motherfucking game that I'm gonna play, and he has this whole time.
Doran totally was like when he had that acquiescence and like conversation with Jon Arryn. Doran was already thinking like 30 years down there, like,
exactly. He was 15 steps ahead, thinking about his ultimate revenge on the Lannisters, because he knows, like, army wise, numbers wise, he's not taking on Robert and his people and his allies. Not a chance. Fresh Crown King. So, Jon Arryn, again, we go back to having a good hand. Tywin Lannister, great hand. He's despicable as shit, but he's very smart.
That guy.
Aerys needed him. Like, Aerys.
Aerys desperately needed Tywin. He was a perfect hand to Mad King. Perfect hand. Who else? Tywin Lannister, without spoilers. Like,
as much as I hate to say it, Otto.
Otto Hightower, thank you.
Otto,
he was giving sound advice to his grandson. He was. I'm sorry, but he was, and he got fired for it because he wasn't impulsive.
And you've seen the repercussions of him leaving.
Exactly.
You
fucking Otto, man. I miss Otto so much. What
Otto, again, but like, here's the thing: if a major event is going to happen,
be careful, Luke.
I know.
Dance around it.
I know.
I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
So that character, if they do it the way that it is in the book,
They're not.
Should be at a specific. Okay, all right. So
they already changed it. They already changed it.
Okay, I thought
That's
so.
not happening. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
cool.
This is the exact same conversation with Blood and Cheese. Like, they've already changed it preemptively.
Okay,
They're gonna
Maybe
play.
I'll talk to you guys about it when we turn off the live. But like, I did have one idea of why they could use that.
Me too. Me too.
Go ahead.
That'll be. Sorry, Chad. This has to be offline.
Offline. We can't spoil the stream before it even starts on Sunday.
No
there
way.
was one person that joined our space last week, and bless her heart, she was amazing. She was very sweet, but she straight up said something, and I was like,
there are people that
and she was like, wait, is this not a spoiler? And I was like, no.
Oh my God. My heart stopped. I was like, no.
I was like, because like I hate conflict, and I hate like assertiveness.
I don't. I'll say it.
No.
That's why
JJ's funny. JJ's funny because season 1 was wild. There was somebody, I forgot what it was, JJ, and you might not remember either, but somebody said some wild shit. And because we're a dyad, I think we were all on the same page. But I think with me, I was like, I actually think, and JJ was like, what the fuck? No. And I was like, I'll just let her go. I was like, it's fine. Just let her go. Like, before. And she was like, no, why would you say that? No, that's stupid. And I was like,
it's literally the good cop, bad cop routine.
Yeah, I'll show up and they'll be like, oh, thank God, Josh is here. And JJ's like, everything. Like, if you don't want me to bring JJ back in here, you'll tell me what I want to know.
What did we think? So what did we think of, obviously, when we were bringing in
JJ's like, I'll fucking say it.
No qualms. I'll fucking do it.
Go ahead, Luke. I'm sorry.
What do we think of the, obviously, Vermithor gets Hugh, and then Olaf, right? I can't even pronounce his name.
Did you say Olaf?
You say Olaf?
Did you say Olaf?
I did.
Olaf, my favorite dragon rider,
Wait,
baby.
from the Frozen little snowman?
Josh Gad? What are you doing
Josh
here?
Gad is the one that is taking the
That's hilarious.
the dragon. No, but I think the way they did that was really well done. I have no qualms with it. I think the only thing that I would say is that Silverwing was pretty much just like, you know what, you're dumb. I haven't seen a human in a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
People are being kind of like not confused. Like the dragon seed claim in the Sowing was messy.
Mm-hmm.
It's messy because it was supposed to be messy. I don't think anybody knows the rules here, especially after like dragon keepers quit. Like, should she line up people in a line, or was it smart to bring everybody out there at the same time? Like maybe go one. I don't think anybody
was just like up on
that.
top, being like,
hindsight's
right,
2020, man.
Hindsight is 2020. It was a little messy. The Sowing itself, it wasn't like thought out. I think they're just like going through motions. Is like shove all 50, 100 people in the dragon mount, and hopefully Vermithor will pick one.
Let's get brass tacks out of the way. I mean, like Rhaenyra's like, all right, Rhaenys is dead, Melee's is dead, Daemon's doing fuck all. Like, I don't know what the fuck Daemon is doing. He's the only other bigger dragon that we can really realistically could have relied on, and he's not even fucking here. No. So like,
she needs dragon riders desperately.
I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I get why she was like, one of y'all need to claim this motherfucker. Like I get it. Like she's like, look, come on, let's go. It's the it's like an extension of her desperation of calling small folk dragon seeds in the first place. It's like a buildup of that. It's like why wouldn't it be messy? Why wouldn't it be like a thing you're walking into? In my opinion, her speech to them kind of spelled out everything that was going to happen. She's
verbatim.
She's like, look, guys,
you guys, some of you may die,
but that is a sacrifice we are
willing to make.
No. Like, she's telling them, she's like, look, like, you guys had absolutely shitty lives. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. I get it. Like, I'm sorry for what it's worth. You have an opportunity to elevate yourself and your families that you've managed to cultivate and your standing and change your lives. And if you die, this sounds bad to say, but your life was so bad in King's Landing that in a way, for a lot of you guys, it would almost be a weirdly sweet release of death. Starving to death. You know what I'm saying?
But also, two things can be true at the same time. The prospect of a possibility that you could be a dragon rider. You could potentially have the perfect life. Everything is set in stone for you. Everything is good. And somebody tells you there is a chance that you could bond with a dragon.
Well, and also,
you kind of see that with Stefan Darkland.
Stefan Darkland, Ulf is the perfect example of this. Yeah, I mean, his life is not great, but is he shown suffering? Unlike Hugh Hammer and his wife, he seems like going through motions. But the idea, like, even his friends are gassing him up. You know, Ulf the Dragon Lord, the Dragon Lord. There's an appeal there, like. Like would I do it? Like, if I have Targaryen bloodline in me and there's a chance I could claim a dragon, would I take that risk? Maybe.
I said it depends. Like,
it depends.
Is my family starving to death? Did I just lose my daughter? I look at Hugh Hammer.
Hugh Hammer is the perfect example.
I loved his wife telling him, like, I don't want to be a lady. I don't want to be a widow.
I don't want to be a widow.
Like, that's my thing. But I understood why Hugh was floored by that, where he's like, I had to watch my daughter slowly rot away and die. I had to beat somebody's ass for some carrots.
Well,
like, I can't do this anymore. Without spoiling anything, and I will not say a fucking word about Hugh Hammer.
Please don't. Because people are so out of fucking
pocket. I've seen comments of people just being like, blah, blah, blah.
So many fucking people in comment sections. Doesn't he? Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Be quiet.
Let
Shut the
people
fuck up.
like get confused. Let people like speculate. Don't have to be the actually person and be like, actually spoiler this
Because
happened.
like I looked at JJ and I was like, because I remember when he first showed up in the first episode, the first episode, and I was like, is that Hugh? Oh my god, I'm gonna be quiet. I said I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I want to see what they do here. Because when they started focusing on him, I was like, okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Yep.
I said let me let them work.
Yeah,
let them work.
Let them cook. Literally, let them cook.
Those events, what Hugh does in the rest of this story is absolutely insane. Which goes back to my other point
Be careful,
here. No, I know.
You're gonna drop a spoiler live,
No,
and
I'm
I'm going to.
not.
He's gonna be like, no,
I'm not.
when
No,
Darth
I'm
Vader
not.
says that
No,
Luke
I'm
is his
not.
son.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
I'm just teasing you.
The
I'm fucking with you.
conversation that he had with his wife about his mother and how he was treated, how she was treated, is, I think, an underlining motivation for what ends up happening. For those of us that do know,
Maybe.
Yes,
possibly.
Hugh is so much better in House of Dragon than Fire and Blood.
Yes.
By
Yeah.
a mile, by 100 billion miles.
I'm gonna be real with you. The reason why I'm so floored by his current portrayal is because I hated him in Fire and Blood.
Correct.
Yeah.
I
Correct.
despised
Same.
him. I said, "What a fucking shitter!" I remember listening to the audiobook going to driving down the highway, and I was like, "What a fucking asshole!" Fuck you, dude. Like, fuck off, and fuck you too.
He's the
Wolf.
fucking
Like,
worst. Both of them
when
are
I
the
watched
worst.
when I watched him. The first episode, I was kind of like, okay, like maybe we haven't seen the whole side. But then after the season goes, I was like, oh, I feel bad for him.
Yes.
I know.
And now that we have the information that we have now about his lineage, it makes it even more hard. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, hindsight, I mean, burden of knowledge, like casual fan is not going to know what we know. So for us, it's just an additional layers of like Easter eggs.
And I would add on to that, JJ, we don't know what they're going to do with him in the show.
Correct. And let's go back to your earlier, like shutting the fuck up to everybody. Put Fire and Blood down. Put it down.
Put the book down.
Put the fucking book down.
John,
Stop reading.
Put the book down. Put that book down.
Put the fucking book
down.
down.
What I love Simon Vance is put the fucking audiobook down.
Also, it's like, let the show watchers and only the show watchers, let them like get confused. Let them get in their own heads.
Let them watch it. Not everybody has read
charm.
Fire and Blood. It's part of the charm. Like, you don't know shit. If you haven't read Fire and Blood, you obviously don't know anything about Hugh Hammer, and you're not gonna know. Please don't read the book before finishing the series. It's gonna ruin it for you.
I watched the most recent episode with my mom, and I talked to you about this, JJ, and we talked about season 8 of Game of Thrones, and I said I remember building her up. I was like, "Mom, season 8 sucks so bad," and she was like, "Does it really?" And we got through it, and I watched her reacting to Game of Thrones season 8, and she definitely had the same complaint. She was like, "Why would they do that? Why that doesn't make any?" But my mom is a TV watcher. She's a yapper. She's a spectacle person. So when she got to the end and she was like, "I love that show," I was like, "Okay, all right." Yeah. But when she got but one thing I'd noticed and it resonated with me, she really likes Hugh Hammer. She really likes Hugh.
Why wouldn't you like him right now? Right now.
And how they're portraying him. My mom, like, I was like, look, my mom's the median voter, okay? Like, my mom's the median voter. Like, you need a good example of like who to advertise to. My mother is the best example of that. It's like, so when she goes, I like Hugh Hammer, you're like, you're doing that role the right way. I think you're doing a good job.
He's the ultimate dad bod.
Yeah.
I love him.
He is handsome, Tiara.
Show Hugh Hammer is really likable, and it's not just because they're portraying him like this humble, sympathetic, but it's just because of how they're focusing on him and seeing the shit that he's dealing with. He has a family, which he did not have in House of the Dragon, and that was I think a big part of that. And watching him now
Yeah.
And watching him being able to
It's
claim
a
that
different
dragon.
character. It's a different
He's
character.
a different character
Mhm.
to me. Like he's a different character to me. So when people go, doesn't he blank? I'm like, no, I don't know.
Fuck up.
I was like, we don't know. We don't fucking know. We don't fucking know. Shut up.
They changed it. They just like they took out Maelor. They changed it. They literally changed. They made
he lives on cotton candy for the rest of his life. That's what happens to him. Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
He becomes Aegon the Fourth.
No, he's actually Jon Snow reincarnated. Like, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I never did.
They just scream at dragons.
Out, you know?
I love Hugh Hammer.
Let the show play out. Hugh Hammer is a great character right now in the series. If you like him, there's a reason. There's a reason why you like him.
There is a reason. Thank you.
There is. And
one of the things that irritated the shit out of me, and sorry to get off, like sorry to, I know you guys want to, but one of the things that really fucking irritated with me is that like one of the main things I would see from like, and I don't want to take sides here, but like Team Green stands would come out and say like, they turned Aegon into a sexual assaulter, and I'm like, okay,
wait a minute,
okay. Listen, what does that mean? What's a Drewski meme? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
You use that one a lot.
What do you mean by that? Yeah, because if you go back on Fire and Blood, there's a passage, and it doesn't spell out that he's XYZ, but you can look at it and go, you can see that happening. I don't think they turned him into anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and Josh, they still managed to make him likable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nuance
in the show.
Nuance.
He's way more likable in the show than he is in the book, and he's still R word.
Like like I know you're on YouTube, so I got to be careful with that word. But like with Aegon, like they did a good job. Tom Glencarney did a great job with making me like in that critical empathy, like feel bad for him realizing that his son got killed. Like that would be wild for literally anybody on planet Earth. Like can we open up the Nuance box, please, God?
No, not in House of the Dragon fandom. There's none left.
What was Aegon supposed to do, JJ? Was he supposed to was he supposed to shrug and go to a brothel? What was he supposed to do? Like cry, maybe? Like, I don't know.
Because people, again, they read Fire and Blood 2 months ago, created these headcanons from rumors, and now the show's not doing their headcanon, fucking secondhand trivia written 100 years later. They're spilling all kinds of shit online and talking shit about the show that hasn't even told its story till the end. It is deeply, deeply frustrating. And obviously they're making changes. Like, how do you... But because Hugh Hammer is handful of descriptors of things that he does, that's it. The show chose to humanize him more, to give small folks a face.
That's what it is.
We want small folks. We want small folks stories. No, you fucking don't.
You don't actually. You apparently don't.
You lied.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing. Like my mother, like my parents watched Game of Thrones. Like they were late to the game, but they watched it, and I kind of watched it with them. So they've been like, my mom was like, I think the most hard thing is that Aemon's character seems older than like the actor than Aegon because of his demeanor. Like my mom struggles with like the demeanor of Aemon, like physically being bigger, taller, and that's and I try to be like, Mom, that's kind of the point. Like that's what this animosity between the two are.
Yeah, like Aemon's internal frustration there is that like he's like, I've always felt like I was built to be king and he wasn't. It's like always.
But also Tom Glencarney is very baby faced, and Ewan Mitchell has sharper features. They're both very distinct in their appearances, so one of them looks a little more.
They even like
also he's in the early half of The King with Timothy Chalamet. Tom Glencarney. He has a really awesome moment with Ben Mendelsohn, who plays Henry IV.
Wait, what's the show called?
It's a movie called The King. It's on Netflix. So like
Okay.
you could probably find ways to watch it. But he has a really good role there where he like yells at the king, and like this was before he even got cast in. And I always jokingly tell people like I feel like that's like low key his audition piece for Aegon II because he does a really good job in that.
That's funny.
He's great in that.
Speaking of the seeds, the guy with the messed up face, I feel like could have been
Luke. I need you to be careful. The actor himself came out saying people are using verbiage to describe him. He was born that way.
Oh, he was born that way. Okay.
He doesn't like the word deformed or
okay.
That's
gotcha.
word. He was so please be careful. Like
yeah. So like his character, I felt like we had seen him before in season 1.
Did we?
In the like, fighting rings?
As the fighting pits. Like
could that have been a
possibility?
Was he
could
in
that have
season
been a
1?
possibility?
Because there's a little kid that the timeline matches up.
Yeah, because
I'm curious
I saw
about
that. And I was like, wow, that's.
I'm googling it right now.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what
I
thought.
No, you might be right.
When I saw him, I was like, wow, that could be one of Aegon's kids from the fighting pits, because they made it very, very clear last season, like they didn't.
I don't think enough. I don't think enough time passed for that because that guy was way older than
way older. Yeah, Robert Rhodes. I don't know. It doesn't say how old he is, but
I think he's older than Tom Glencarny. He might be older than Tom Glencarny. Yeah.
Robert.
Rhodes. Yeah. Keep in mind the time between Aegon being crowned king, because that's when that episode happened. And the time now is only like a couple months maybe at the most.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
right. So that
not a lot of
him.
Not a lot of time passes from like Luke's death and now, where it's like so like
it's only I think even Allison says to Larry Strong, it's been a few weeks. The realm was at peace. My husband was alive, and all that shit.
Yeah, it is a few weeks, so that can't be it.
Yeah,
but that's interesting though.
Fun little fact: Silver Danes actually dies because cannibal eats him.
Who we have not seen yet in the show, right? Yeah.
They promised me wild dragons, and we have yet to see a fucking wild dragon.
I want to see that crazy motherfucker. I want to see that crazy motherfucker, dude. Oh my god.
Rhaena.
Wait, okay, so is cannibal is what to Vermithor? Like the third largest, isn't he?
Vermithor is after Vhagar largest.
Yeah, he's the second biggest alive right now.
And then cannibal?
And that's cannibal, sheepstealer, dreamfire. Yeah.
How big is Silverwing?
Silverwing's it's like I would say like medium.
I think she's bigger than Cyrax for sure, at least in the show. Sure. Like she's definitely bigger than Cyrax is supposed to be bigger though, so that's what's fucking with me.
Sheepstealer next episode, please.
Yeah,
there are clips in the trailer of Rhaena and Vale running. What is she running? Is it running to or from?
It is so. There's no way, and I have not seen the episode. There is no way that Rhaena is not running towards Sheepstealer.
100,000%.
There's no way. There's no way. Right?
Otto claims Grey Ghost and Simon claims Cannibal. Canon.
Corlys claims the skull of Balerion the Black Dread. And
nice.
He's driving around on like a skeleton of Balerion, and it's like, what?
Okay, I'll pull this one up. I'll let JJ decide.
Would it be a spoiler to discuss what the actor who plays Alan said, what he's trying to do with his character?
I know what he said. I don't think we should talk about that.
But to Mackenzie's answer, the Abu Bakr Salim, his name dropped himself in a Twitter, in an article, the word Oakenfist.
Oh!
So, that's not me spoiling shit. That's Abu Bakr Salim talking publicly.
Okay.
So
right.
but Tom Holland speaks publicly too, and
one is staged, one is not.
I do. I'm just kidding.
there's a lot of things that have how long. This is the longest episode of the season, right? Correct?
It's
It's like
73
what,
minutes?
73 minutes.
73 minutes. I read somewhere.
That's a long ass.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
long.
a long
Jesus.
ass episode, and I am here for it.
I'm sad.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun. But I
Yes.
think we've talked a lot of different topics, and I'm so glad you guys have
No, this was
have been
great.
here.
I love just like
We unironically could have gone like 4 hours and not even.
Oh,
no, I
easily.
know.
I'm a yapper. Like I'm
Oh,
a
me
I'm a
too.
yapper. Yeah, I'll
Yes.
talk for hours, dude.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
could,
insane.
and like honestly, once the season's over, we definitely have to have you guys back.
We run it back.
when I'm here, I won't be here
Dunkin'
next week.
Egg in January. But before that, like I'm gonna watch Interview with the Vampire. Everybody and their fucking mother and grandmother and
My
descendant and ancestors
Alanis
saying to watch.
is reading the books right now.
I-
She's reading.
I
the
read them
books.
back in high school. Anne Rice is pretty classic. Like the Chronicles are pretty iconic. So
Yeah,
I've seen season 1. I'm a very big fan. I was very pleased. I was like, wow.
okay.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
pleased with it.
so maybe
Okay,
I'll start
alright.
watching that with her. Maybe I'll start watching that with her.
my friend and I
no,
are baking a dragon-shaped cake for the finale. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so great.
So those.
I like
So those,
I'm really excited for, oh sorry, Luke, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I'm
Yeah,
really
go.
excited for Dunkin' Egg because I feel like it's a
Yes.
different scope. And I
Oh,
think that
yes.
it'll work so much better. And they're and here's the key here. The first book is already done. So like they'll have dialogue. Like
We won. There's
We won.
graphic novels. There's graphic novels with dialogue, and it's literally Mando and Grogu.
Mhm.
But
yeah,
Westeros.
no,
It's just the
literally.
lone wolf on the cup trope.
It's literally it. Mando and Grogu, like a little smart ass boy, and it's
And himbo. Yeah,
and
like,
a himbo.
Yeah.
himbo and annoying little shit would be like yeah, you know.
I can't wait. And this is like
Yeah.
Dunkin' Egg has always been George R. R. Martin's way of like grounding the story
Mhm.
outside of the castle,
Mhm.
outside of the like the king, like the kings and the nobles. It's literally putting these two characters on the ground as they're
Mhm.
exploring Westeros in its different like
Mhm.
areas and different lore and
Yeah.
different characters.
Different angle.
Yeah.
For
Fucking
sure, yeah.
amazing. I don't trust anybody who doesn't like Dunkin' Egg. I'm dead serious. I am
Yeah.
dead fucking. If you say no dragons, I don't give a shit. This
Yeah,
story's
no.
grounded. Like
Yeah.
let's.
And, I
And
mean,
there's
this-
enough really, really prominent and awesome fucking characters in Dunkin' Egg. I cannot wait for Lionel
Lionel
Baratheon.
Baratheon. Oh,
I
Jinx.
cannot. The Laughing Storm. What kind of fucking name is that? Are you kidding me? Maekar Targaryen and the actor that got chosen to play him
Did you see
is
Maker's costume?
perfect. Holy shit!
Yeah.
They got
Taylor
pencil.
Breakspear. Like oh my, I can't, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
it's
little
gonna be-
boy, Dexter, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
He's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. The video of him getting his head shaved is my
Yeah.
favorite. Literally, my joy returned. I was like in a shitty mood, and I saw that kid getting his head shaved, and I was like,
He
You're like,
was
maybe
so
I should-
happy and
Maybe I
thrilled
should
with
have
it.
enjoyment in my life.
I hope they have like staff on hand and like therapists to kind of protect him.
Yeah,
and, like,
no, yeah, for sure. For
Internet
sure.
is very cruel, and I seeing how House of the Dragon fandom is behaving.
Oh my god!
like a
Don't put
fucking-
that kid on social media.
Well,
Seriously.
I love the who do they cast as Aryan Brightflame? Because I was like, whoa.
I don't know the actor's name, but he
The
is
face.
exactly
I
what
said,
Arian
yeah.
Brightflame
I said,
should-
yeah, that's Aryan
I think
Brightflame.
he
Like,
commented-
yeah,
I think he commented on my Twitter. I'm like, that's Arian Brightflame. Like, I know.
yeah, that's Aryan Brightflame.
Yeah.
If HBO will do anything ever, is the casting. They do.
Oh yeah,
impeccable.
whoever is like the head casting person, they should get like. I know it's not like Oscar level, but like they should get like a lifetime achievement award or
Something,
something
yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
like
I agree.
the decade of best casting ever. It's like you.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they're up there with Sarah Finn. It's just casting directors. Like you're up there. You're up there in that echelon.
For sure.
MCU could never pluck an unknown.
True.
Give him a
Anyway.
chance.
We will be up
JJ.
until 3 a.m. talking
Oh, yeah.
about that
Yes,
one though.
yes, yes.
Oh my God, no, I could go on a whole rant.
Look, my path in life is to be controversial and talk my shit. Let me.
It's a lonesome
I-
road, JJ. I wish you the best of luck on that.
I knew.
I had the
I
private 2 videos
knew-
already on
I
that.
knew what I was getting. I knew what I was signing up for when I had this merry bunch on here. But
it's Friday and I'm tipsy,
Yes.
so
I think that's a good point.
Cranberry
Of
juice. I wish I put
stopping.
vodka in this. I really did.
Oh,
Damn it.
It wasn't
No, just
Oh.
cranberry juice.
Oh,
Oh, you
shit.
should have put some
no.
Malibu in there. God
I
damn
thought
it.
you were
Cal
matching my
shows
energy.
up
I
at
was
the
drinking
end.
wine. I was
Damn
like,
it.
no.
Cal,
I'll have to distract my husband because he's playing a video game right now to give me some vodka in this bitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. JJ, where can the good people follow you on the social medias?
You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram under Lady Dragon JJ. I mostly tweet, and lately I haven't been posting much TikToks because I have no energy, and House of the Dragon fandom has drained me. So I'm waiting for the show to wrap up so I can get my joy back and get back into content. But it's coming,
Fair.
I promise. I talk about Star Wars, I talk about anime that I watch, and obviously A Song of Ice and Fire. So
And Lord of the Rings.
and
You gonna
hopefully
you excited for season 2?
okay. Did I love the first season? Parts of it. Some I did not care much for. This season they took like literally every complaint I had in my head, and they're like, "Oh no, we hear you. We're gonna fix it." It looks
offline.
amazing.
Hey, JJ, offline.
Cal,
I
oh my
will-
god,
I
I've talked
will-
to you forever.
I will let you in on some secrets.
Oh.
Josh.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on. Tea? Okay, I'll be quiet. Yeah, no. No, you guys can find me. I'm pretty easy to find, and maybe that's part of the problem with some of the bullshit I get. But you guys can find me at MaceahWindu on pretty much every major social media platform. I talk about Star Wars on YouTube. I have a new Star Wars Outlaws video where I got to
Wait, you played it?
Oh, you
I
played
got
it?
to play. I got to play an early.
Shut the
There you
fuck up.
go.
Yeah, I got an early preliminary review on YouTube. If you guys want to see that video,
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm checking it out.
actually pretty proud of it if I do say so myself. But yeah, no, like I talked a little bit about my impressions of Star Wars Outlaws, general stuff, not everything. I haven't seen the entire game, but but that's what I talk about on YouTube. On TikTok, I talk about anything that pays because I have bills.
Mhm.
And on Twitter, I talk about everything, literally everything.
Yeah.
And Instagram, I haven't been on it too much, but it pretty
I
much
haven't been on it in months. Yeah.
I there's no real incentive there. They don't pay me for that. So anyway, but yeah, no, that's where you guys can find me. Appreciate
So
it.
with the Outlaws, I'm hearing it's getting like crazy good reviews. Number one, at least for preliminary ones. What would you say on a 10 scale of 1 to 10?
Is your husband or you a big fan of like The Division?
Ooh, it's
Has
the
he ever
Division.
Have either of you played The Division?
Have you played the game Division?
No.
He has not.
Okay. Have you played Assassin's Creed?
Oh, he's
Mhm.
yeah. I played
He's
Assassin's
played
Creed.
Assassin's
as well, yeah.
Creed. There are
Okay.
a lot of elements that reminded me of Assassin's Creed. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
To be clear, there's a lot that I liked about the game, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm calling it like a dud or anything like that. It definitely captures the Star Wars atmosphere. I felt like I was in a Star Wars world. I was very pleased with that. I was like, wow, they nailed the atmosphere. The main character, Kay Vess, she's really good. Humberly Gonzalez, I believe her name is. I don't know if she's allowed to talk about it because I know the video game actors are going through a strike right now. But
Yeah.
I think
Oh my god,
But
you're right.
I
That's
was
right.
so scared to post it because I was worried that I was like gonna fuck with
Freaking-
their strike. So I
No.
literally sent an email to SAG-AFTRA and I was
You
like,
sent an email
hey,
to them?
I
Okay.
said, hey, Ubisoft reached out to me and asked me to post this. But then right after I recorded all of the footage, you guys went on strike. So am I okay to post? They were like, yeah, dude, go ahead for it. I was like, okay,
okay.
cool,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah,
So,
don't relax.
I'm okay for the record. I'm okay. But
Yeah.
no, like to get my criticisms out of the way, it's a very the dialogue is okay. The combat and movement feels a little clunky.
Okay.
And that was one of my biggest problems. I am really worried about the game performance in terms of like because I went through one crash and there were a few stutters.
Ooh,
I
what did you
played
play
on-
on?
I played on PC, but and I don't want to toot my own horn. I have a very good PC, so it might not have been optimized for it. So it might have been one of those problems. But it was cool enough. It just felt like a lot of the gameplay was very jolty, janky. Janky might be the
Ubisoft
best word.
is just kind of hit and miss with their PC ports.
They are very inconsistent with that. So I'm worried. I'm also wasn't a big fan of like. It felt like, I know it was early and I know it was an early part of the game. It felt like there was a lot of customization that felt like it could have been a little more in depth. I'm always of the opinion that if you're going to do an open world game, I'm okay with you keeping the character. I'm okay with you keeping K-Vess as K-Vess. But like in the vein of Arthur Morgan, if you're going to have this character, I want to be able to like go to a store and take shit, like put on this shirt and this set of pants and this and we didn't really have a lot of that.
Immerse yourself.
And I didn't get a lot of that. It was a lot of like unlock this and there are 10 total outfits you can. I was like,
I also feel like Respawn did a good job of that with the Jedi games, which is weird.
And it reminded me a lot more of Jedi Survivor than Red Dead Redemption. And the outfits, don't get me wrong, the outfits that we did get were really cool. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I do think that there should be a little bit of variety when you advertise yourself as an open world game. And when people were like, "Oh, are you going to be like nice?" I was like, I'm going to be honest, and if I have complaints, I'm going to say complaints, and if they don't want to invite me back, you know how I roll, guys. Like it's like if you guys hate how I give reviews, and don't fucking ask me to review your game or something like that. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. The space combat's fun. I fully believe, based on what I was able to play in like 5 hours, there is a lot to do. There is going to be a lot to do, and you guys are going to enjoy that. If you're a guy that wants to just explore Star Wars universe and go around, and
that's me right there. That's a game for me right there.
I think I'm gonna enjoy it. Like I think what kind of hurt me, ironically, and I'm not trying to like finesse a free copy of the game, but like I think what hurt me was that I only got to play like I think what hurt me was I only got to play like 5 hours, and I was like,
you only played for 5 hours?
5 hours?
Yeah. And they were like, what did you think? And I was like, it was fine. Can I play the whole game? Like. I don't know, I don't know, can I play the whole game? Like,
because you don't know if like the second half of the game gets better.
Yeah, no, like
that can happen.
They let me play 4 hours on like the opening part of the game, and then they switched me over to another load where I only played 1 hour of a different part of the game. So I didn't really follow the story that well. Like it was a lot of like it was like a gameplay showcase basically, and I just wasn't. Like it was cool, but I was just kind of like when the people were asking me like, "What did you think of the story?" I was like, I didn't really see a lot of the story. Like it was like a lot of missions, but like, and I got to like see how Kay talked to her little like pet fur baby Nyx, and like I thought that was cute, and
Capitals
it was cool.
Was gonna pop up with that one.
And it was cute to be able to. It was cool to be able to use him in certain ways, like distracting. He played dead in front of some stormtroopers. I thought that was funny.
Like BD1 for Cal.
Yeah, like BD1 basically. And it was cool. Yeah. Like that was cool. Like I said, a lot of Assassin's Creed elements there. I didn't mean to turn this into like a Star Wars Outlaws review, but like
I mean the game comes out in like 28 days.
Yeah.
Wait, when does the game come out? In
like
August?
later this month.
27th if you have the gold edition, August 30th if you have the normal edition.
Can I play it on PlayStation or is it just PC?
Oh, it's on all the games.
I already got the PS5 version.
They only let me play it on PC because it was like recorded or whatever. But like, no, I mean it's cool. Like I here's my assessment at the end of that video. I said, if you guys are big fans of Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft games in general, if you like the style, you're probably going to enjoy this. Creed, and I said, even if you're not a fan of Assassin's Creed or the Division, which I think is what their last big game was, I still think you'll find stuff to enjoy in Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
I was honest. I said I don't think it's winning any Game of the Year awards.
I see. Okay.
But
That's fair enough.
that's okay.
Not-
Star Wars Jedi Survivor didn't even get nominated. So like
You
I
know
do
what?
find
I
it-
was just gonna say, not every game is gonna be Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, which I find some of the
Exactly.
best Star
Also-
Wars made in last 10 years. Like,
Also,
Exactly.
last year, gaming wise, was so stacked. It's like,
yeah, it
yeah.
was.
I fell out of,
Yeah.
Alan
out
Wake
of it.
2,
Yeah.
it was insane. It was insane last
Yeah,
year.
for sure.
But no, I enjoyed it. So like I talk about
I'll
Star
keep
Wars
that
on
in
YouTube.
mind,
I talk about Star Wars on YouTube. I talk about everything on TikTok, and I talk about everything on Twitter. I have the same at MaceahWindu. That's the long
Alright.
answer.
Yeah, there you go.
With an outlaw
It's
there in the
good.
middle.
It's okay. Hey, no, that'll be good. That'll be hey.
Josh,
yeah.
where can you find you on social media? When I was born in 1997. Like, all right, bro.
Josh, you know who you are? You are the
Huh.
recipe girl. Like
I'm a
the sheep.
yapper. I'm just like a
Oh,
yeah. like oh, here's Josh's video essay, 45 minutes.
I just-
God damn.
I just
like-
imagine, like, Josh, where can we find you? And it's just Kingpin from Daredevil. It's like, when I was a boy.
Yeah, when I was a boy. Mr. Murdoch.
Hereth, where can the people follow you?
Oh, the good people can follow me at Hereth Productions on TikTok, Hereth Edits on Twitch, where you can watch me get carpal tunnel in real time on Guitario while I'm doing my Guitario gauntlet and playing some rhythm games. And of course, you can find me here on the Podwans podcast discussing House of the Dragon right now.
All right, Mr. Professional. Jesus
Thank you for
Christ.
everything you do, Harris.
Yeah,
Seriously,
no,
the work
yeah,
that
thank
you
you
put
for
in into all
everything.
of this,
Yeah,
like
For
seriously,
sure.
this is-
Yeah,
you're a
absolutely.
star. You really are. Thank you,
For
sure.
and you, Luke. You both of you for giving space and like for us to
Hey,
like
and then
fucking
that's
yapper for
and
2
This has
hours.
been this has been what I've wanted Podwans to be. Is just us shooting the shit for about 2
Shouldn't
hours.
shit exactly.
Yeah.
Like we have the structure. Do we follow it all the time?
What is structure?
Not always. Yeah,
We
hardly
don't know
ever, Let's
her.
be real here.
And
But,
I have notes. Oh, hold on.
Did we even touch on any of those notes?
Notes for episode 7.
Her notes are on like episode 4. She's like, oh fuck.
But you guys can follow me at the Jedi Master Eggs on all social media, and you can follow us at the Podwans on all social medias. For the finale, we are going to be doing a live reaction. So
Oof,
everybody,
oof,
if you
oof.
want to sync up with us, watch the show live, get our reactions live. And then we will have an edited version later down the week. And then we will have a spoiler talk about the season altogether.
Mhm.
I will not be there because I have prior obligations. I will be out of town.
I mean, we could always just delay it a week.
If you guys want to do that, we
I'm
can do
fine with that, dude.
That's-
I'm
that's
so
fine.
I'm so flexible on that. It's fine.
Me too. I'll probably end
Okay.
up watching the episode 15 times.
I'm
anyway.
gonna need to
Factual.
watch it again. Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just delay it.
We'll just
You
wait
guys
for
will
you
just-
then, man. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can do that. So we won't have a in-depth episode. I think that would be a perfect opportunity, Harris, for us to kind of get on the Star Wars Outlaws, Star Wars Chase's episodes. You know.
Yeah.
And just
We also
go
got
back at-
Rings episode that's in the
Yeah,
archives that we need to
yeah.
unload.
Rings and stuff like that. So that'll be a good one. But yeah. So guys, let's just set a time. What time do we want to start the stream? Because we can have like a discussion a little bit before,
Mhm.
or do we want to start right when the episode starts?
Should
If
we
we're
do the
gonna
outro
this live,
first?
What do you think? What?
Oh,
Should we do
wanna
the should we do the
wanna
outro
turn this
first
off?
and then do the
Oh,
green
oh,
room
yeah,
discussion?
sorry.
They're still watching us, Luke.
I
Yeah,
know.
Luke.
I'm so
Because you'd be like,
sorry.
oh, we're gonna show up
Sorry,
at this
anyway,
time, and then people are gonna be like,
anyway.
where's the
That's right,
stream?
guys. Hey guys,
You
what?
forgot.
I haven't done a live podcast in a while. And it really shows. But
Hilarious.
that's gonna be it. We will see you on the next one.
Thank you, everybody. The chat, too.
Dracarys.
Dracarys.